back here on the pregame show from the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas, about 35 minutes away from getting this game kicked off between the Ducks and the Bulls of South Florida. Jerry Allen will sit down with Ducks head coach Mike Bellotti in just a few moments. We'll also hear from South Florida head coach Jim Leavitt, get his scouting report on this Ducks team as well. Well, Jeff Schwartz, the big offensive lineman from Los Angeles, he is a senior, preparing to make his final appearance as an Oregon Duck in this game today in the Sun Bowl against South Florida. I visited with Jeff over the weekend here in El Paso.
Your last game as a Duck. Can you believe that? Has it sunk in?
Not really. It's been a short time, 3+ years, 4 seasons. It's been fun. I'm just excited. Last practice is over with and ready to play now.
Do you think it'll hit you when you run out on the field, when the game's over? When do you think it'll kind of sink in for you?
I think it'll start sinking in now because, last practice is over, and, I think it'll sink in when I come on the field, and then when the game's over, definitely, so we got to go out as winners.
What have these last few weeks been like since the Civil War? I know it was not the way you guys wanted to end the season, those last 3 games, but how do you feel the team has responded?
I think we're fine. We're playing as hard as we can right now. We have some injuries, but we're trying to work through it, and, we've had a month to prepare, so there's no excuse now for not executing on offense, especially, so, we'll be ready to play.
You're a veteran, obviously. You've been around some quarterbacks in your time. How do you think the 2 guys have performed over the last 2-3 weeks of practice?
I think they've done well. I think Roper's improved greatly. He's been playing really great right now. He's commanding the offense pretty well. Cody's just right behind him on that. And, I got a lot of confidence about those guys if, whoever plays.
Tell us about South Florida. What does their defensive line look like to you guys?
They're not very big, but they're very quick and athletic. Their whole defense runs very well. So it's going to be a challenge for us to make sure we can, get to our landmarks, to get our guys cut down or do whatever we have to do to cut down pursuit.
Obviously, protecting Justin or Cody or whoever's back there is going to be important, but opening holes for the running game, Jonathan and company, that's going to be big too.
Yeah, it all starts with running the ball. If you run the ball, the pass rush won't be there. So, that's our main goal, to come out and start pounding the ball, and then we'll be able to do that.
Does it seem like Jonathan is as healthy as he's been in a while? Is he running with authority in practice?
I hope he's healthy. I think he's doing his best he can right now. It's a tough injury to come back from, and he'll be ready to play. He's a gamer, and it's the last game of the year, so he'll be ready to go.
What would you like to say to the fans back home who are listening, who have supported you and the other seniors over the last few years?
Just thanks for the support. I know we've had some good years, some bad years. The fans have always been there, and
about 30 seconds.
You missed out on a great game. I know some people don't think of El Paso as a great city, but the game's gonna be a great game. South Florida's they're ready to go. We're ready to go. It's going to be a fun game out there.
There could be some points scored, right?
Definitely. I think we're going to put up some points. And, their offense puts up points, too, so it could be one of those high-scoring Pac-10 games.
By the way, what's next for you after this game?
I don't really know yet. I'll probably go train somewhere and then play in the East-West Shrine game on the 19th in Houston. And then we'll just go from there, go to the Combine and see what happens.
All right. Appreciate it. I've always appreciated the visits with you over the last few years. It's been fun watching you play. Good luck on Monday.
Thank you.
All right, there is Oregon senior offensive lineman Jeff Schwartz as he makes his final start today for the Ducks here in the Sun Bowl in El Paso. Up next here on the pregame show, we're going to hear from South Florida head coach Jim Leavitt as he has his Bulls team in the Sun Bowl, just their 3rd bowl appearance in the young history of this South Florida football program. We'll hear from Coach Leavitt after this from Oregon Ducks.
We're just really anxious to play Oregon's outstanding football team. We know that they're very active on defense, real strong secondary, very disruptive up front. Linebackers can run offensively, awfully good, and big offensive line. They understand what they're doing. They understand what where they need to be. The one difference, I know that as Mike's had, we're losing your quarterback and then your second quarterback during the middle of during the season. It's hard to give reps to the other guys. It just is. And then all of a sudden you're sending a guy into play that hasn't had any reps because you can barely give your number 2 guy enough reps in practice. So there has been some time for the players, I think, to understand what the quarterbacks can do, and that'll be a benefit, to them, and know what their strengths and weaknesses are and how they can be effective. And Stewart's such a good running back. We know that's a guy, that's going to be a real focus, and makes sense. He led the Pac-10 rushing, and we know that's going to be a big factor, during the game. And like always, you got to do well in the kicking game. You don't want to turn the ball over, and you want to play good defense. Stop the big plays. I'm sure everybody says the same thing. Probably every head coach will say the same things. I think it'll be a heck of a ball game. I'm excited about it. It's a great challenge. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, and I'm real excited about it. Football is so much fun. I mean, we're so fortunate to do what we do, to be able to coach the players that we coach, and I'm just excited about the experience. They don't come. They're very unique and very unique opportunities for us.
All right, there is South Florida head coach Jim Lovett. Up next here on the pregame show, Jerry will sit down with Ducks head coach Mike Bellotti. We'll hear from the coach right after this along the Oregon Sports Network.
And head coach Mike Bellotti, and trying to think of a term or a way or a phrase or something to describe this year. And a lot of things I could say I can't say, but maybe let's go with me roller coaster, up and down and up, and you hope that it's going to finish up.
Yeah, tumultuous might be one I would use. I think it's been a lot of ups and downs, and for the most part, mostly up. And tremendous job by a group of young men that came of age, I think, and put themselves in a position to be the number 2 ranked team in the nation. And then due to some injuries and just some other things, lost some of that, but has really competed well. And obviously this is their last chance and our last chance as a group together to go out on a winning note. I know they really have worked hard to make that happen. It's been their focus for an entire year now, and I believe they're very well prepared.
I saw a spark in this team that was really, pleasing, I guess, gratifying. And that in the Oregon State game, I thought coming off the tough losses with the injuries you had, there was a chance to go in that game and just not compete very hard. And I thought this team went into that game with the right mental attitude.
Absolutely. I think not very many people gave us much of a chance. But our kids didn't believe that, and they really battled, gave themselves a chance to win. Other than a coaching snafu at the end of the game, and I take full responsibility for, we should have won that football game. And again, I feel badly because our players worked their tails off, worked hard, believed in each other, and supported whoever was going to play quarterback in that regard. And to me, that's what you want as a coach. You want your guys to compete. You want them to handle everything thrown at them, and this group of young men has done that.
This has been a year, take the injuries aside, has been a magical year. Number 2 in the nation, considered by many to be the best team in the nation, should have been the national championship game, Heisman candidate, maybe a winner and all of that. The injuries don't take that away. You were still there.
We were, and every year we talk about winning a national championship, and that it is a reality. We can do this. We just have to keep our playmakers healthy, and at times this year that didn't happen. And we need to continue to develop quality depth because that really can make a difference. And this year it really did too, because I thought as we lost 2 receivers and our backup tailback and 3 quarterbacks and 2 middle linebackers. You're talking about significant players, significant playmakers on a team, and yet the rest of the young men, including 10 true freshmen and a JC transfer who got their first year, they're playing, they're out there, helping this football team win, and that's a great thing for the future.
Since Dennis and Brady and Jonathan, with the injuries he had gone down, the guys that are in there now backing him up, and Jonathan's back, are more veteran now. You've had time. I thought Justin Roper looked pretty good. In fact, there was a big increase in his play from the UCLA to the Oregon State game.
No question. And Justin Roper has just gone on to continue to improve during this bowl practice season. He is the starter. I know we're airing, and it's not any mysteries to some people, but he has done a tremendous job. I've been really, really impressed with his development. He didn't get a lot of reps during the season. He was thrown into the thing at the Civil War, and he did a great job. But he has really taken the bull by the horns. I think our team has confidence in him. It's an interesting thing to see that thing develop in 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm excited about that. He gives us a chance to win. I really believe that, and we just have to really support him and play around him.
Now, your offensive line is still pretty much intact. You've got the guys there that were there all season. You've got a somewhat healthy Jonathan now, and much more than he was in the Oregon State game. And against the Oregon State defense, one of the best in the nation against the run, you ran the ball.
We did. They were the best in the nation at the time, and Jonathan ran for 163 yards. We would have had over 200 yards rushing if our quarterback hadn't dropped the ball a couple times. But the reality is our offensive line has been one of the staples of this football team, the standards by which we set, and they have supported any quarterback that plays, any running back that's carried the ball. And certainly we want a healthy Jonathan today, but Andre Crenshaw has shown that he can do some things to help us. Remine Alston has gotten better and better. And again, I like that, but we're dependent on Jonathan and his health to come in and give us a ground game to keep South Florida honest.
Let's take a quick break. Come back, talk a little more about South Florida and the Bulls and the matchups right after this from your Northwest Dodge dealers. Continuing on the pregame now, your opponent, the Bulls, South Florida. I've heard said maybe the fastest team you'll play other than USC, and mostly you're talking about defense.
No, on both sides. They're a good football team, good football program. They have great team speed, and certainly they're going to be one of the top 3 or 4 teams we've played this season in terms of speed and athleticism. They have done a nice job of building a program. Offensively, they rely on one person, and much like we did, but Matt Grothe, their quarterback, is their leading rusher, their leading passer. He's a tough kid. He reminds me of Jake Locker or Tim Tebow in terms of he's a physical quarterback that will run the ball up inside. He'll get tackled and get hit many, many times, come back and complete greater than 60% of his passes. I mean, he's a very, very good athlete, very tough, tenacious leader, and certainly we have to stop Matt Grothe to give us a chance to win this game.
You want to make him throw that ball. You don't want him to be able to run, because even though he completes a lot of high percentage of passes, he makes some bad decisions.
Well, he's had games. Some games he is awesome in his accuracy. I mean, I saw one game where I think the only 2 incompletions were one ball he threw away and one ball that was dropped. In other games, he's thrown some interceptions that have turned the game around, but they've come back. They've got a great offensive line led by Ryan Schmidt, very similar to our football team in that regard. Carlton Mitchell at receiver and Torres Johnson provide the receiving core, and then Mike Ford's an interesting guy. They list him as a freshman. I don't know what that means, but he's an older player, but he's sort of been in and out of the lineup, but he's their leading rusher. He's healthy now. He's a big back with great speed. So, we haven't seen a lot of him this year. In some of the games we saw, he wasn't playing, but he's a factor to be dealt with, and they're a very balanced attack in that regard.
A lot of trickery on offense, or do they try to disguise what they do that much?
They do a lot of things. They're basically a spread offense, but they'll come down and run the wishbone from a tight set. They'll do a lot of things, and they have trickery involved. I mean, they're very well coached, and they do a nice job with their system.
Defense for them, the strength of their defense. I know they got a couple of really good corners.
Yeah, you know what they have? They have a couple of defensive ends, a couple of linebackers, and a couple of corners. But the corners do a great job. Mike Jenkins, number 4, is one of the best cover corners in the United States. He and Trey Williams are both seniors. They're veterans. They know what to do. They've got a couple guys in front of them, Tyrone McKenzie and Ben Moffitt. Ben Moffitt's the inside Mike backer, and McKenzie's the outside linebacker. And they're Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside. They're really good football players. And then up front, probably one of the best players in the nation, George Selvey, a first-team All-American, 6'4", 250 pounds. He's flanked by Woody George on the other side. They're fast. They're very athletic. They got some big guys inside, and they don't always just come off the edge. They'll mix up the pass rush, but they do a great job. They're third behind us in terms of tackles for loss this season in the nation. They also led their conference in takeaways in terms, and they're ranked very high in the nation. So they do a nice job defensively of getting after you, getting you tackles, putting you in obvious pass situations, and then taking the ball away when you throw it up.
These teams don't exactly mirror each other, because I think Grothe probably runs the ball a little more up the middle, but both offenses and even defenses are very much like each other. So in preparation for this game, you both sort of know what you're doing.
You're right, and it is, I won't say a mirror image, but there's a lot of things that look similar in terms of the way we attack things and the basic formations we use in offense and defense. Their special teams are also very good. Their returners are very scary. Jerome Murphy and Mike Jenkins, the kickoff returners, I mean, they do a great job. And Jerome Murphy as their punt returner, he's a scary guy. He's got speed. He can run, and they are ranked very high in the nation in their return game. Probably would be ranked higher, but they've suffered a lot of penalties in that game that has taken some big returns back.
Your special teams play, though, this year at times probably has been an advantage and maybe the difference in some games.
It has, and it has to be in this game. There's no question. We talk about when you lose a player of the status of Dennis Dixon, it's not just the guy that steps in to replace him. It's every single player on this team stepping it up just a little bit, offense, defense, and special teams. And we want to make Justin Roper's life easy. We want to make practice hard and games easy. And, again, that'll be with the support of the people around him.
There are enough guys on this team that remember the feeling of the winter and the spring, waiting for fall last year after that Vegas Bowl. I've heard some guys say they don't want to go through that feeling again.
No, and neither do I. I don't think anybody does. They have done a great job. Our young men have done a tremendous job of focusing this year, of working hard, of putting themselves in a position to win a bowl game. Not just be in a bowl game, but win a bowl game. And obviously to compete for a national championship. And, again, every year I think that you recognize certain games, certain plays, but we have a chance today to end this thing on a very positive note and culminate some great senior seasons.
Well, I don't know where we'll find you on the field afterwards, because after you win this, they take you different places. So, Jordy will follow you around, find you somewhere on this for a postgame. Congratulations on a great season. I mean, I know coaches can only do so much, and players can. When an injury bug strikes, you got to live with it. And you guys have to live with it extremely well.
Well, I thank you very much.
Oregon Sports Network.
I'm really proud of the way this group of young men has handled the adversity of seeing some of their teammates go down and others and picking up the shield and the sword and marching on.
Coach, good luck. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks, Jerry.
Nicely done. The Star-Spangled Banner here for the 74th Annual Sun Bowl. We're back with more from El Paso after this time out on the Oregon Sports Network. Appreciation. Well, what do we know about the Bulls? Their defense is very quick. They have 23 interceptions as a team, and a lot of that is because they put so much pressure on the quarterback. George Selvey has 58 tackles from his right end position, 31 and a half tackles for loss, and 14 and a half sacks. He is their Nick Reed. He is some kind of a guy, a 6'4", 242, a sophomore. And Oregon's going to have to be aware of him all the time because he'll be coming probably from the backside.
Athletic ability and speed is really what he brings to the table, Jerry, not only as a pass rusher, but his ability to chase down plays from behind, which is why he has so many tackles for loss as well. So, great player, consensus All-American, and All-American on every list that there is. So he's somebody, number 95, Oregon's going to have to watch out for.
Their quarterback is their Dennis Dixon. He's Matt Grothe. He is 6 feet even, 213, a sophomore, more like a Tim Tebow type of guy. He's going to run it up the middle on you. He's not going to be a Dennis Dixon and dance around the outside and try to, run away from you. He'll take it right at you. He is not only their quarterback, but he's their leading rusher. The guy has 13 touchdowns passing and 10 rushing. But in those 13 touchdowns passing, he also has 12 interceptions.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's a guy who in 2 years has run for 1,400 yards. So he was awful good as a freshman, even better as a sophomore, and just is getting better and better with each game. But so goes Grothe, so goes this offense.
Two running backs. In fact, they'll actually hand the ball off to three guys. Mike Ford is the guy that will get most of the duty out of the backfield. But with his 132 carries, he averages about 4.5 yards a carry. Benjamin Williams has 101 carries this year. He averages also around 4.5 yards a carry. So they'll spread it around a little bit. They have three great receivers. Carlton Mitchell is their number one receiver, 37 catches on the year, 4 touchdowns. Marcus Edwards, 19 catches, 30 receptions for Taurus Johnson. And a wide receiver, and their tight end, Cedric Hill, has 20 catches and a touchdown. Is Mike coming out down there in just a moment? Yeah, as soon as he gets that headset, I will let you know. And Jay Allen down on the sideline will catch the coach just before we take our final break here on the Cycle Sports pregame show. Not really totally aware of what to expect today. Georgie, I guess I just don't know. I know that Oregon State game was tremendous as the Ducks came back and competed and really should have won that ball game.
Yeah, I mean, they came back and gave themselves a chance to win that ball game and didn't, and so they end the season on a 3-game losing streak coming into a bowl, and that's what they did last year going into Las Vegas Bowl. But they've got to obviously change things here in the Sun Bowl today against South Florida and have a different performance. I think they believe they can play well. Justin Roper's got to be sharp. He can't make mistakes, and we'll see what happens. But defensively is, I think, where Oregon has to play better than they played in the last game against Oregon State. They need to help Justin Roper by keeping South Florida out of the end zone.
All right, we need to get our final break in here. We're just about ready to go downstairs with Jay Allen and catch head coach Mike Bellotti in his final comments just before the Ducks take the field. The captains are on the field now getting ready for their toss of the coin. And coach shaking hands with the linesman on the far side. And here's Jay Allen downstairs.
All right, here with the coach in the sunshine here in El Paso. Coach, I know I talked to you yesterday. You got to try to contain Matt Grothe today, huh?
Absolutely. I think he's the key to their whole offense. Now, they've got great supporting cast, but he makes everything go. And we have to make sure we negate their pass rush, which means win first down and run the ball well.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck today.
Thank you.
All right, Mike Bellotti down here live on the field, and we certainly appreciate his time throughout the season. Jerry, back up to you.
All right, timeout and kickoff when we come back. And it is the Ducks and the Bulls in the 74th Sun Bowl here from El Paso after this from Horizon Air.
Well, some very good players out there that you talked about defensively for South Florida, Jerry. I mean, Ben Moffitt, a third-team All-American at that linebacker position. So, you've got not only good players along the defensive line, but George Selvey, you've got good linebackers and two very good cover corners.
We'll talk more about them. Today's starting lineups brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Here we go, Roper with two backs beside him to block, and one of those will be a receiver. First down at the 20, and the fake pitch and rolling right. Roper wants to throw wide open. Catch made. Garrett Strong first down and down of bounds down near the 38-yard line. Well, there's a play, and that type of play I think you're going to see a lot today because South Florida is loaded for bear to stop Jonathan Stewart. And if you use that overplay and that speed, you're going to get him.
There you go right there. It's just fake the flow to Jonathan Stewart. Everybody went with it. Go the opposite way of the bootleg, and you hit Garrett Strong.
Big first down after the 37-yard line. Here's Jonathan with the ball, and Roper keeps it. Now we'll throw it, and I think he's over the line of scrimmage.
He threw it backwards, though.
Did he throw it backwards? No penalty flag down out there at all. He took off running.
What do we have? We have a flag?
Yeah, I think he was that's an illegal forward pass.
That's too bad, too, because it's really set up, and you lose the down. It's really set up perfectly. It's just that the flanker outside cannot get ahead in that particular case. I think it was Jeffrey Mail.
Yeah,
you can't get ahead of the quarterback because what Justin Roper can do is he's running out to that side, and nobody knew he had the ball.
No, he could have run.
Jonathan Stewart, he could have run for a long ways. And yet, if you're going to throw that ball outside, the wide receiver has to keep that perspective of being behind the quarterback, then it's a lateral.
And loss on the yardage back to the 34-yard line.
Great play, though.
Second down and 13. Loss of down, second and 13. Roper with the snap. There's a give coming around the end around, and that's a pretty good one. Spinning across the 40 to the 50. Still on his feet. Ball comes loose. Did the ground cause the fumble, though?
Well, I sure don't think so. Great run by Jeffrey Mail. He twisted and turned and was going to get a first down, but with all that twisting and turning, the ball comes loose. Oregon turns it over, and South Florida gets it on the 45. And, Jerry, I think that ball came loose before he hit the ground. Great run. And, again, South Florida not in position to defend Oregon on any of those first three plays. But what you couldn't have happen in this game has just happened. That's Oregon's turned it over.
Doesn't appear that there will be a replay at all, so it is a fumble. And here is Grothe from the shotgun. One wide receiver out to the left-hand side at his own 46-yard line. First huge turnover of the game. And Oregon was moving the ball. High step over his head on the ground. He'll dive down on it back at the 33-yard line. You think they're a little charged up. Their center, James Griffin, he's 6'4", 307 and a junior. He snapped that ball over the top of Grothe's head.
Now that's when Grothe wishes he was 6'3" instead of 6 foot. He might have been able to tip that ball back to himself, but instead backwards almost 15 yards is what South Florida goes. So it brings up a 2nd and long, 2nd and 23.
2 receivers, 3 all the way out to the left, 2 to the right. Empty backfield, 5 receiver pattern for Grothe on 2nd down at about 25.
He's got Jerome Boyd one-on-one with the wide receiver outside right now, too.
That's the matchup you want, isn't it? Linebacker on a wide receiver. Back to throw, Grothe. Sets up, looks, wants to go deep down the middle. And he is going to beat. Wow, great defensive play. Knocks it away. Jarris Bird goes up and knocks it away from Carlton Mitchell. What a great defensive play, because Bird was a little behind, and he was able to jump up high enough to deflect the ball.
Yeah, I thought there for a second the wide receiver had beaten him to the inside, and frankly, Grothe throwing with the wind at his back. Didn't throw a very good ball right there to give his wide receiver a chance.
3rd down and 23. The official yardage to go back at the South Florida 33-yard line. And Grothe. But again, 4 receivers, 3 left, 1 to the right, back to throw the ball. Little pressure, steps up, now will try to run away from it. He can run it too, and he will try to run it and turn it up and go down hard at about the 40-yard line, way short of the 1st down. And that'll bring up 4th down. It's Oregon's defense with help from a high snap. And a really nice defensive play from Jarris Bird will get the ball back.
Well, a nice start there for the Oregon defense, and frankly, a nice start for the Oregon offense.
Yeah.
3 very positive and big play makes, and yet turn the ball over, but they're going to get it right back here.
Delbert Alvarado, a 41-yard average punt. Punter will punt from about his own 25. Line of scrimmage, the 39. A good snap. Almost blocked. Very high. Nice spiral. Taken at the 14, 15. Jarris Bird to the 20, 25. Still on his feet. Outside. Needs a block. He'll get dragged down from behind at the 41-yard line. Great return for Jarris Bird. And a timeout. So we'll take the first timeout with 12:40 remaining here in this first quarter. Oregon and South Florida, USF as they like to be called. Scoreless Ducks ball when we come back after this for State Farm. Welcome back to El Paso, Texas. This week has been a good week for Oregon and for the University of Southern Florida, as they only really had one bad day of wind, gust to 60 miles an hour, and dust and cold. But other than that, really has been a pretty good week here, Georgie. Sunshine, blue sky. Jay Allen's down on the sideline. And Jay, you're actually could have wear shorts today.
Yeah, I could have gone with shorts and probably a tank top like I'm on the beach or something, you know. But no, I'm wearing the long pants. I even have a jacket on. I really don't need it. I mean, right now, knock on wood, it's sunny. It probably feels like it's about 60, 63 degrees. The wind, not really a factor. Of course, as we know down here in South Texas, that can change in a minute. So it could get a little windy. But I thought the Ducks, boy, Georgie, looked pretty good offensively and defensively on those first series.
Yeah, I mean, 3 plays offensively that really had themselves on the move before Jeffrey Mail, after making really a very, very good run, fumbled on the South Florida 45-yard line, but South Florida gets it back. And, you know, Jerry, as you talked about, first snap goes right over the top of Matt Grothe's head for a loss of 13. And so they were in the hole right off the bat. An incompletion down the field, a scramble by Grothe, and they punt it back to Oregon. So 3 plays on offense and 3 plays on defense. You look pretty good, but no points, and the Oregon offense starts over again.
It will be Jonathan flanking out to the right with 2 other receivers out there. Empty backfield right now. 5 receiver pattern for Justin Roper from his own 40-yard line. So he's going to probably throw the ball, goes up to the line, makes the call on the play now, and it'll stay a 5 receiver pattern, empty backfield. With a snap, back to throw. Now the whistle will blow. He might not have beat the clock. Might not have beat the play clock.
Delay game. Offense penalized 5 yards. Remains first down.
Well, that's the youth right there. The rookie quarterback, after a timeout, frankly, a TV timeout, to come out and get a delay of game isn't something you want to do at any time in the game, but especially then. So 1st and 15 now for Oregon.
They're their own 35-yard line. No score here. First quarter of the Sun Bowl. Roper, 2 receivers left, 3 to the right. A 4-man rush, and back to throw. Roper with time, dumps it over the middle. Nice little push in the back. Oh, I thought that push came as the ball was coming in, huh? That probably should have been a pass interference call. No incompletion, though. It'll be 2nd down and 15 back at the Duck 35. Left hash mark. Roper up to call the play quickly at the line of scrimmage in that no-huddle offense, and he will have Jonathan set up to his left this time. 2nd and 15 from the Duck 35. Snap from center, and give it to Jonathan, going right. Try to get outside a block, trips a little bit, still on his feet, down the sideline, and out of bounds in front of the Oregon bench on the right side at about the 50-yard line. He stumbled a little bit.
Yeah, well, he wanted to make a little bit of a cut off the block out there by Jeffrey Mayle. If he gets to the 50, he's got a first down. I think and it is a first down. They're going to give it to him right there. So a nice 15-yard gain on that play, and a lot of open field to run to.
15 yards on his first carry today for Jonathan Stewart, who averages almost 6 yards a carry, 1,469 yards this year. Here's Roper. Going to keep the ball. Now throw it out. It's caught on the left sideline and sliding down is Jeffrey Mayle as he tried to make a cut and move upfield. He's going to lose a couple of yards.
Well, the comment I made to Jay Allen before, and Jay, you can give us a little bit of insight on it, but this is not a good grip surface. It seems real slick, real flat down there where that artificial turf is laid down.
Yeah, it does lay down real flat. Like you said, Jordy, it's nothing really like what they play on at Austin Stadium, so the footing could be an issue as we've seen already here.
2nd and 11. Here's Roper, and going to roll right and hand it coming back the other way to Jonathan. Hit, still on his feet at the 50. He's going to get to about the 49 of South Florida, and that's it. It'll be a short gain of 2. It's going to be 3rd down and 9. Good team speed for this South Florida team. George Selvey, Aaron Harris, Richard Kleber, and Woody George, the up guys. But the guys that really play fast are Tyrone McKenzie, Ben Moffitt, and Bruce Bonpremier, the linebackers. And we'll talk about the quarterbacks in a moment because they got 2 really good ones. Here's 3rd down and 10. Just inside the 50, and a snap it back to throw. Roper down the field, going deep. Jay Will tried to turn and catch the ball, and it was going to be out of bounds. Just a little outside. The ball needed to be thrown inside. Incomplete, and now Oregon will punt it away.
You got to keep that ball inside to give your receiver a chance to make the catch. You know, Jason Williams really had a good step and a half on his defender. It looked like number 21 out there, Trey Williams, that was running up the sideline with him, but Roper threw it and it drifted out of bounds, so he didn't give his receiver a chance.
Marcus Edwards deep at about his own 10-yard line. And Cyree will punt from near the Duck 40 when he gets his foot into it. Good snap. No rush. Oh, there was a rush. They almost got to it. One guy got through. Ball might have been tipped.
It was.
It was tipped. It's going to bounce inside the 15, inside the 10, and it's going to go all the way down inside to the 6-yard line. Somebody came up the middle and almost blocked that football. But the short punt, because it was tipped, will roll to inside the 10-yard line, and it'll be Florida ball, South Florida ball, the Bulls at their own 6 when we come back. No score. 11:01 left here. First quarter. Ducks and the Bulls back after this from Anheuser-Busch.
Today we salute you, Mr. Ex-Pro football commentator guy. You offer keen, in-depth analysis, like scoring more points will help you win.
I did not know that.
Your physique was once built to handle the rigors of professional football. Now it's built to handle a 23-pound honey-glazed ham.
I'm still hungry.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Night of Sports Insight.
Bud
Light beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
When it comes to college football, it doesn't matter what your record is or where you are in the standings. When your team's out there, someone's shouting, "We're number one." But when it comes to car insurance, State Farm is it. That's because more people trust State Farm for car insurance than Geico and Allstate combined. And those who switch to State Farm save an average of $369 a year. Get a quote right now at statefarm.com or call any agent's office 24/7. State Farm, an official corporate partner of NCAA football. Annual savings based on survey of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
11:01 left, first quarter, no score. Bulls deep in their own territory, first down now. Duck football brought to you by Horizon Air, wings of the great Northwest. Jay Allen is down on the sideline with the Ducks in the sunshine. Jay?
Yeah, Justin Roper, the starting quarterback for Oregon, has already done some very positive things here. He came off the field after that last series, came over, picked up the phone, talked to offensive coordinator Chip Kelly up in the booth, and then hung up and turned around, and who was there to greet him? Dennis Dixon. And Dennis coaching him up a little bit over here, and I kind of eavesdropped a little bit. He said, hey, you got to try to go through your reads a little bit quicker. Make that decision on who you're going to throw the ball to a little faster. I think Dennis senses that maybe Justin's hanging on to that ball maybe even a half second too long. And Jorge, as you know, as a former quarterback, that half second or second, that can make all the difference in the world.
Well, you know, and especially you look at that last pass incompletion to Jason Williams where, you know, when you get opportunities like that, not that he was running wide open down the sideline, but he had a step and a half. You let it, lay it out there, you let him run under it, and instead of having it drift out of bounds. But he has, I think, as Jay said, I think that he's made some positive plays so far.
Grothe in at quarterback from the shotguns. Got Mike Ford beside him and Benjamin Williams. And we'll wait for the snap. On first down from his own 6-yard line, one wideout is going to hand it off and hit immediately across the 6-yard line for a short gain is Mike Ford, 6'2", 225, a freshman tailback. The average is about 4.2 yards, a little over 4 yards a carry.
Yeah, at least Cal has clawed their way back into the game, 21-14. They trail Air Force. And Kevin Riley, actually, a quarterback now, Jerry, 9 of 11 for 122 yards. So he's the one, and not Nate Longshore, that's brought him back.
Wow.
The Beaverton, Oregon product.
Up under center this time for Matt Grothe. Remember, Grothe is a running quarterback. Don't be surprised if he takes a step. Now he's going to call timeout. He doesn't like Oregon's defensive set against the play they have.
Florida, their first timeout.
So we'll take it. 10:22 left here, first quarter. Second down and 8. South Florida at their own 7-yard line. And we'll come back to the Sun Bowl in El Paso in a minute here along the Oregon Sports Network.
Last year was a winning season for the Paradise RV team, and they're starting this year with the same great lineup, beginning with Gulfstream, Tourmaster, National RV Motorhomes, and Ragin' Toy Haulers, plus a great backup of RVs of all sizes. And the Paradise RV team skills runs deep from sales to service. Paradise RV is located at the end of Roberts Road, just off I-5's exit 199. Just look for the palm trees and meet Paris, the team mascot.
Reason number 13 to switch to Geico. Everybody else is doing it. Now, we know that logic never won an argument with your mom, especially when you were lobbying for that BB gun. You could put an eye out or something. But when it comes to car insurance, joining the crowd could be a good thing. Last year, more than 3 million drivers switched to Geico for savings, round-the-clock service, and the latest in online technology. Yep, millions switched, and nobody put a single eye out.
For a free rate quote, visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. 15 minutes could save you 15%.
You're listening to Duck Football on News Talk 590 KUGN.
Welcome back to the Sun Bowl in El Paso. Bright sunshine, breezy, but temperature probably about 58 to 60 degrees. If you're in the wind, it feels a little cooler than that, but if you're out of the wind, you're probably pretty comfortable. And I'll tell you what, there are a lot more Oregon fans here than I probably thought we would see. And you look across the far side, there are several thousand Oregon fans here. And then you look around and you see yellow scattered elsewhere throughout. Both teams are green. For South Florida, they're green and gold, or gold helmets anyway, and white. Oregon, of course, the green and the bright yellow, so you can sort of tell the Oregon fans on the far side. But been a good week here for the team. They've had a lot to do. I talked to Jeff Schwartz yesterday, and I said, well, how's the week been? And he said, you know what, we've enjoyed it. He said it's been different. And I said, really different? He said, yeah, we're a little more focused. They've had fun things for us to do, but, you know, this is kind of an important game. I don't think we heard that from anybody last year.
No, not really, Jerry. And I think this team, again, has had a real good week here and are focused. I mean, I think they're really in a different frame of mind.
Here's Grothe from the shotgun this time. Will hand the ball off and stuff for a loss of a yard. Back to the 5-yard line is Mike Ford. And Oregon's defense is fired up to play. And Jay Allen, you said you thought maybe that Oregon's offense and defense looked a little quicker here today.
Yeah, you know, I think so. And, you know, I talked about it on the pregame show with Jorge. You know, these games are often won in the trenches up front. And so far, I think this Oregon defensive line doing a great job. I mean, Jeremy Gibbs was right in the chops of Matt Grothe as he handed that football off. 3rd down and 11 for Grothe, and he's just across his 5-yard line left hash mark. 2 receivers out to the right, 1 left, and a blocking back to his left. And Grothe waits for the snap on 3rd and long with a snap back to throw. Throws it over the middle, is tipped and incomplete and might have been intercepted. He just fell down between 2 Ducks who could not get to it. Somebody tipped that ball at the line of scrimmage. It might have been David Faitete.
That ball got tipped, Jerry, and what ends up happening is the ball gets tipped up in the air, and instead of looking for it, Ryan DePaulo's going for the hit. And if he's looking back at the ball, he's got a chance to pick it off. But nonetheless, another very good defensive stop for the Ducks. And should get decent field position here.
Into punt again, Delbert Alvarado. Alvarado is, again, a 41-yard punter. He averages 41 yards. Jarrisburg waits at the 45 of South Florida. And the punt on the White Ducks went for it, didn't get to it. Very high, booming punt. Fair catch called for and taken at the Duck 45-yard line. That is a huge punt. Alvarado, boy, did he get his foot into that. And great hang time, too.
Really needed at that point in time. I mean, he had 5 guys coming in at him, so he's got plenty of people going down the field to cover that thing. But if it's a low-line drive, Jarrisburg's going to bring it back, and he said it was a high hanger. Probably 52, 53-yard punt there. So Oregon first and 10 at their own 45, but good field position again here with an opportunity on their third offensive possession.
They have been able to move the ball fairly well here. So far in the first quarter, no score with 9:28 left. A little motion to the right from Malachi Lewis. Handball, Jonathan going right, looking for a crease. Penalty flag down as he gets into the 50 and to the 48-yard line, and that is most likely going to be an Oregon hold.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jerry, I thought the left defensive end may have jumped off sides for South Florida, so this is going to be decision time here if that's in fact what it was. And it is, offsides on South Florida.
Wow.
So do you take the play for 7 yards and bring up 2nd and 3, or do you take the penalty and 1st and 5?
I'll take the extra down, maybe, huh?
I would, too.
Defense, number 90, penalized 5 yards from the previous spot. Receive first down.
There you go. So now it's first down still, and only 5 to go for the first down. The ball right at the 50-yard line on the right hash mark. Duck football brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, the largest parts inventory in the Northwest. Napa, get the good stuff. Here's Roper, Justin Roper, redshirt freshman quarterback. Stewart to his left. On first down, we'll hand it to Jonathan. Cut it back, hit at the 50, go to the 49. A short yard gain, and it's going to be 2nd down and about 4. Up off the bottom of the pile, I'm looking at number 96, Woody George. Also Ben Moffat, the middle linebacker.
I guess they should have taken the play. Brings up 2nd and 4, so 2nd and 3.
Here's Roper again. They're ready from the shotgun. The snap. Here's a give to Jeffrey Mail. Going right, cut it back. First down, and he'll get it inside of the 45-yard line, and that's just where he needed to go for the first down. And it looked like there was more there. He's got some good speed, doesn't he?
He does. Well, and again, when you're coming full speed and taking the pitch, you're taking that pitch already with a full head of steam. You're outside and at least have the defensive end flank. But I thought that South Florida actually did a pretty nice job of reacting to that play.
Here's first down at the 44-yard line of South Florida. Roper waits for it, got the low snap, hands to Jonathan, going to go left, go outside, got a little room, straight arm, and dragged down and hit hard in the back of the 40, and then thrown down hard out of bounds. A pickup of 4. Well, that's hard running. He had a nice straight arm there. But the guy he straight armed hung onto his hand, and her arm had spun him around, and then he got kept right in the back.
He doesn't go down easy, I'll tell you that.
Into the ballgame now, Andre Crenshaw. That tailback to the right side of Roper on 2nd down and 5. Snap from center. Back to throw. Roper off the play fake. Throws. Caught. Jay Will goes upfield. Gets the first down to about the 40-yard line. And it'll be a first down Oregon. We are 7:45 remaining here in the first quarter. No score in El Paso at the Brute Sun Bowl. Jay Allen, a spark on this football team. These guys came ready to play football.
Yeah, and it was, again, something we talked about going into the game. Could they match the intensity of South Florida? Well, I would say right now it's Oregon that looks more intense and focused in this football game.
Here's Roper with a snap. Going to hand it off. Going left. Now cut it back. And Crenshaw's going to go down and lose, I think, about a yard. And he slipped a little bit as he started to make his cut.
Slipped a little bit trying to make that cut. I mean, a lot of stutter stepping to make the cut versus making it very quickly. But also when he started to stutter step, as you said, Jerry, kind of had a little slippage there, too, so it slows you down that much more.
Garrett Strong way out to the right-hand side. Ed Dixon out there with him. Jeffrey Mayle inside of him. And I think that is Derek Jones to the left. On 2nd down and 12, almost 11. Hands it off, going left hard, cut it up. Nice. Oh, a trip at about the 28-yard line. Otherwise, maybe we get a little more. We get a penalty flag down at the 23, where Crenshaw is taken down.
It's a late flag, too.
It might have been a face mask. Oregon may be walking backwards, though. Personal foul against Oregon.
Boy, something you really can't afford at this point in time when you have a good drive going. You know, great field position to start this drive. You've got something gelling.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Late hit on the offense. Number 60. Penalized 15 yards from the end of the run. It'll be third down.
And not something you expect to see from one of your veterans, Max Unger, from the end of that play. So a good positive play, and you went from in field goal range to now out of field goal range in a second and long situation. Not a position you want to put Justin Roper in.
Here is third down and 19 back at the 39 of Florida. And back to throw, pump fake. Roper steps up, now runs a little bit, throws it downfield. He's got him, and he's got it for the first down at the 10-yard line. What a throw by Justin Roper, and how about the help? Was that Derek Jones?
Sure was.
Number 6.
Just a split second longer, and the defender's going to be able to get there, but on the run, and Roper throws a rope right to Derek Jones up the seam, and the Ducks are in business. First and goal, it looks like, at the 10-yard line.
Boy, what a play by Justin Roper. Here's first down. High snap, and he flips it to Mail, going right, trying to get it outside. He'll go out of bounds at about the 8-yard line.
Oh, we got that to him. High snap, he catches it up high and flips it right to him all at the same time. That was quite a play.
It is. Is somebody got a whistle in the crowd, or is that a field mic? Oh, okay, that's really loud. Yeah, we might not use that for a little. That's really loud. Here is second down and goal. I think the ball is at the 7-yard line. Roper, right hash mark. 2 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. Motion from the right to the left now. 3 guys all left, and Roper with a snap. Going to keep it. Look to the end zone, and incomplete, almost picked off, and probably should have been by Nate Allen. Nate Allen was right there in front of that. He got his hands on the ball first.
Well, great play call, and really had South Florida guessing there, Jerry. But what his tight end has to do, Ed Dixon, is come a little bit more of an angle to give himself a chance. Instead, he's just running towards the back line. And what Justin Roper did is then tried to throw it on the line versus up over the top of the defender. Should have been picked off.
Third down and goal from the 7-yard line. Roper, 3 receivers grouped to the left, and now one of those in motion to the right, now back to the left. And Roper with a snap is going to roll right and can run or throw. Going to throw it, and he's got a touchdown. Go to Garen Strong, back in a right-hand corner, and I thought Roper might take off and run, but he's looking all the way to throw that ball. And Garen Strong got behind his man and then again was running toward the sideline, and they couldn't catch up to him.
Yeah, running at an angle like that, you're in chase mode. And again, that's what Ed Dix needed to do the play before, but Oregon nonetheless converts the mistake from the play before to a touchdown and takes the lead.
Oregon lines up in that swinging gate formation on the extra point try, but South Florida looks like they're ready for it. And nope, Ducks are going to do it. They're going to do the swinging gate, and it will be, ball came loose, but Oregon recovered it. Jay Allen's down there. Jay, I didn't see how it happened, but I know the ball came loose.
Yeah, he pitched it to Matt Evenson, and Matt dove for the end zone as he was getting hit, and he broke the plane just a couple of yards right in front of me, right before the ball came out. So it was a good call by the official.
All right, there you go. Oregon with a touchdown and the 2-point conversion. 6:28 left here in the first quarter at the Sun Bowl. It's Oregon 8 and USF nothing. Back after this from State Farm Insurance.
9 yards and a touchdown. Not doing a bad job of operating this offense. And, again, as Jay Allen said, when you get so focused, and you said it too, you get so focused on number 28, you forget about everybody else. And right now, Roper looks pretty comfortable in this offense.
Jay Allen, he looks more like a veteran than a redshirt freshman in his only second start of his career.
Yeah, and, you know, Mike Bellotti made the point to us yesterday. He said our starter, because he didn't want to give away who it was going to be, but he said our starter really has made some great strides since the Civil War and really has distanced himself from the number 2. Obviously, he was referring to Justin Roper. And I got to tell you guys, I mean, he doesn't really look nervous. He looks pretty calm, cool, and collected out there. There are probably some butterflies right at the beginning of the game, but Justin Roper's looked like a grizzly old veteran early in this game, wouldn't you say?
Grizzly old veteran. I like that. Deep to receive are Jerome Murphy. He is number 3. And number 89 and that is Taurus Johnson, who is a wide receiver. Ducks kicking from our right to our left here in the first quarter. Ducks got the ball to start the ball game. We're taking the ball right down the field and turn it over on a fumble. South Florida came back and could do nothing with it. Had to punt it away. Oregon took it downfield. Couldn't do anything with it. Punted. Florida punted. Ducks touchdown. And that's about the way it's done here in the first quarter. 6:28 remaining. And here's a kickoff from Evenson as he approaches the ball. Boots it. Low line drive. It's going to bounce toward the sideline. Go high and be taken by Taurus Johnson on the right side. Slow his feet across the 30 and finally bumped out at about the 36-yard line. Patrick Chung had a late penalty flag, guys. Way over in the Oregon or in the South Florida benches. Marvin Johnson, and I don't know if he did something or one of the South Florida players did, but it involved Marvin Johnson.
Yeah, what you don't want is to have a couple of dumb penalties get South Florida right back in this game. We'll see who it's against. Hopefully it's against South Florida in this particular case, but got to be careful.
Dead ball, personal foul, number 43 of the receiving team. Penalized 15 yards from the end of the return. It'll be first down, South Florida.
Well, that's Sam Joseph on the special teams is a linebacker, a backup linebacker. And he was probably dueling with Marvin Johnson. They were out of bounds quite a ways, and apparently Johnson let up, and Joseph did not. And he got caught for it, and that's a big penalty. It takes South Florida back to their 21-yard line.
Yeah, it takes away their best field position to start the game at the 36, and right now South Florida has yet to get a first down.
Here is sophomore quarterback, by the way, Matt Grothe from the shotgun. Running back beside him, a high snap. He's going to hand it off, caught in the backfield and drop down back at the 19-yard line is Mike Ford, and Oregon's run defense has been exceptional here early on.
Well, they're doing a good job in two ways, Jerry. They're taking care of the tailback anytime they try to hand it off, and it looks like they're doing a pretty good job of accounting for Matt Grothe and not falling asleep with the fact that every once in a while he's going to hold on to that ball. So right now doing a good job along the line of scrimmage.
There is second down, a loss of 2, second and 12. And Grothe lines him up from the gun again. Two receivers right, one left. And he'll throw this time. Back to throw. Looks. Pressure comes. Nobody open. Now we'll roll right. Still looking. And we'll throw the ball downfield. And it is caught, I believe. It'll be a great catch at the 32-yard line. And that's going to be close to a first down. Grothe just kept running and waiting for somebody to come back and help him out, and somebody did.
Well, Marcus Edwards bailed him out there, Jerry. Did a nice job getting trapped on the sideline and then curling back inside while Grothe was scrambling outside, and he was able to find him for South Florida's first down of the game. But nice play there by Grothe to buy himself some time.
First down to the 33-yard line of South Florida. And up under center this time is Grothe. Will go back and hand it off. Bumped into backfield and then taken down right at the line of scrimmage is Benjamin Williams.
Patrick Chung right on the spot.
Somebody, I don't know if Williams ran into one of his own guys and that slowed him up. He bumped into somebody, and as he spun around, Patrick Chung is right there and just bear hugged him and drug him down.
Well, Oregon came with the blitz to the side the play was supposed to go, and so at least Williams did a nice job of stopping and getting back to the backside, but Patrick Chung doing what he's supposed to be doing, sealing off the backside and makes the tackle there.
Second down and 10 back at the Florida 33-yard line. USF, I'll keep calling them 4, but it's the University of Southern Florida. With Grothe under center, and then somebody moved for the Bulls on the offensive line on the left side. Maybe Ryan Schmidt.
False start.
Sound like I'm calling an Oregon name.
Number
Ryan
65,
Schmidt.
offense, penalized 5 yards. Remains second down.
You know, we haven't talked very much either about Ryan Gilliam, who is a backup quarterback on this Bulls team, who played for the Ducks.
He'll get his plays, there's no doubt about it. He's a backup corner and plays a lot of special teams ball for him.
Great kid, too.
Yeah.
Great kid. There was no smack talking or animosity from either side when they got a chance to talk. Here's second down and 15 now for Grothe back at his 27-yard line, almost a 28-yard line. Snap from center and back to throw with time. Launches it way down to the side, caught, and then down immediately at the 31-yard line. On the far side is Marcus Edwards. That's going to be a pickup of about 8, near 9 yards, and it's going to bring up third down and about 7. Make that 4:16 left here in the first quarter. Oregon leads at 8-0 over the Bulls of the University of South Florida. And Grothe from the shotgun again. Empty backfield with 3 receivers right, 2 left. And now he'll bring somebody alongside of him to block. 3rd down and 7. Back to throw. Grothe wants to go deep. Way downfield. Got him down there and overthrow him. Trying to get it down.
Flags.
So we got flags down. They might have blown this play dead.
Well, this one might be late on Oregon again.
Well, South Florida's celebrating. One of their linemen is jumping up and down like he knows it's going to be against Oregon.
This one might be a late personal foul on Oregon that would have stopped.
Here's the call.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 39 of the defense. Penalized 15 yards. Automatic first down.
Holy cow.
And that's just a killer again. I mean, you can't be doing it. I think it was Mark Dial. It looked like Mark Dial, number 78, ended up on his back, mostly because Will Tequafu threw him on his back after the play, it looked like.
Yeah, you're right. There was definitely some extracurricular activity going on after that play, and a tough one for the Ducks because you give them a first down when I think they were getting ready to punt, weren't they?
Oh, yeah, they would have been. Would have been punting. First down at the Duck 48-yard line, their deepest penetration. Snap from center back to throw out the play fake. Penalty flag down, going deep down the field again, and this one is incomplete and almost intercepted. Ball knocked up into the air. No flag down, and the intended receiver stays down on his back, and 3 or 4 Ducks around him, attending to him and helping him out. That's great sportsmanship. Getting up and limping slowly is Carlton Mitchell. He is their leading receiver, and he's coming out with a pretty good limp.
Offside defense, number 49, lined up in the neutral zone. Penalized 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, first down.
How many times are you going to shoot yourself in the foot?
Oh, wow, first down over again, and a well-defended pass play, too.
And that'll drive Mike Bellotti nuts. I mean, those are mental errors. Those aren't bad plays you've made, because in each and every case, when Oregon, for the most part, has had one of those penalties thus far in the game, they've been for plays that would have gone in their favor. So they've got to just ease off the penalties.
1st and 5 from the Duck 44-yard line for the Bulls. Back to throw. Grothe going to run it now. And he slips down just inside of the 43-yard line. And he looked like he tried to cut in the feet 1 out 2. Oregon had it defended pretty well, though. He wasn't going to get a big gain out of it, but it's going to be 2nd down and about 4.
Right now, you know, Jerry, and again, this is early and still the first quarter, 3:42 remaining, Oregon leading 8-0. Right now, Oregon's the better team on the field, offensively and defensively. You don't need to give South Florida any reason to think they have hope by committing penalties.
2nd down and 4. Grothe under center down. Motion man from the left, back to the left. And he'll go back and hand it off, trying to go up the left tackle, off left tackle, hitting hard for the first down, and down about the Duck 37-yard line is Mike Ford. Just a hard run, left side. Players helping each other up. Off the bottom of that stack. Going sideways to me so I can get a look at you. It might have been Patrick Chung, and it is. It will be first down. The Bulls at Oregon's 37-yard line. An 8-0 Oregon lead here in the first quarter, approaching 3 minutes. And Grothe will set up 2 receivers, or 3 out to the right, 2 left, empty backfield. On the snap, back to throw the ball. Steps up, looks, throws over the ball, is tipped and almost caught. Tipped and then almost caught by the intended receiver. That's not Mitchell back out there again, is it? Carlton Mitchell? No, that was Courtney Denson, number 7, the 5'11", 193-pound senior. And it'll be 2nd down and 10, back at the Duck 37-yard line. Deepest penetration by the Bulls here in the first quarter.
A little bit of help from Oregon in penalties. It would have on 3rd down. Matt Grothe threw deep, and it was incomplete. But Oregon had a unnecessary roughness after the whistle type of play that gave them a first down, and they've continued this drive.
Here's 2nd down and 10 again at the Duck 37. And Grothe from that shotgun. 1 man beside him. The receiver pattern, back to throw. Straight drop, looks over the middle, throws it over the middle. It's caught. First down inside of the 20 to the 18-yard line. And the middle is where Grothe has been throwing the ball most of the time.
just allowed his receiver sits down in the zone in the middle, and he hits him right in there and right on the money. A little bit of a crack in the Oregon defense, and with all the time that Grothe had there, not a whole lot of pressure on him thus far. He was able to deliver, and it brings up a 1st and 10 at the Oregon 18 with 2:40 remaining here in the first quarter. Oregon leading 8-0.
Doris Johnson, the receiver over the middle with a big catch. And first down at the 18, under center for Grothe this time. One back behind him. And we'll go back and hand it off to him. Running hard right, will get a yard, maybe 2, as he powers right into that defensive line of Oregon to the 17-yard line, maybe just inside the 17. It'll be a short gain of a yard.
I think South Florida's kind of resigning themselves to the fact, Jerry, that at least thus far they have not been able to establish any type of running game at the line of scrimmage. And so it right now is going to have to be Matt Grothe's arm that gets him down the field, because the distribution of run and pass has been more heavily weighted to pass thus far.
Second down and 8 from the Ducks' 17-yard line near the middle of the field. Grothe from the shotgun looks over the defense. And the snap is high, but he'll hand it off. And stuffed, and there's a late penalty flag as that running play is flat turned backwards. That'll be a loss.
And it never had a chance.
Of a yard at least. And let's wait and see what the penalty flag is. Right in the middle of the pile. Holding. And it'll go against South Florida. So you make it 3rd down and 10, or do you take the penalty, make it 2nd down and 20?
I think you push him back.
Holding. Number 61, offense, penalized 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, 2nd down.
So it'll be 2nd down and 18. It'll move the ball back to the Oregon 20, just outside the 26-yard line. 1:45 remaining here in the first quarter. The Sun Bowl in El Paso, and Oregon on top 8-0 on a Roper touchdown pass, and then a 2-point conversion from the shotgun. 2nd down and 19 on the scoreboard clock they show. Grothe waits for the snap. Here comes the blitz. They come, and they're going to get there, and he's down, and we got a penalty flag down. And let's see who this one's going to be. Losing his helmet was Jared Carnes, and I hope Oregon didn't pull it off. Well, Oregon lost one, too. Kwame Adjaman lost his helmet.
Over 2 helmets on the field on the same play.
And the guys that were going against each other both lost their helmet. Here's the call.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense, number 49. Penalized 15 yards. Automatic 1st down.
That's killing Oregon. Penalties are right now giving Florida, or USF, a chance to stay in this football game. Except for those penalties, Oregon is dominating this game.
What are you doing?
The penalty is enforced half the distance to the goal from the previous spot. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic 1st down.
Hey, Jay, what's going on down there?
Well, not a lot of good things, I can tell you that. I mean, this is just absolutely a killer for the Ducks. I mean, the defense is playing pretty good, except for these penalties. I mean, like you guys just said, USF would not be moving the football on this drive, except they've had, 2 or 3 first downs by penalty at least on this drive?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. Uncharacteristic of an Oregon football team this year. Here is Grothe under center, first down at about 13-yard line. And he'll go back and hand it off. Running right, gets through a little seam, and then stumbles to about the 11-yard line. And another penalty flag is in.
And you know
they get a little flag happy now.
I mean, you got to let them play to a point.
This one may go against South Florida. Push in the back.
I mean, you got to let him play to some point here. Officiating crew cannot completely.
Illegal block in the back. Number 88, offense. Penalized 10 yards from the end of the run. Repeat, 1st down.
I mean, sooner or later, you cannot take such control of a game as an officiating crew that you don't let either team play. I mean, right now, there's at least got to be 2 or 3 first downs as a result of penalty on this drive that South Florida's had. This one's going to go against them when they got all the way down to the 13-yard line. This one's going to take them back. But nonetheless, already in the first quarter, a total of 6 penalties for 61 yards against Oregon. And I think with this one is going to bring it to 5 penalties for 44 yards for South Florida. So, little too flag happy right now.
Yeah, that's they're really calling up tight. Here's first down again, and the throw over the middle incomplete. That's going to be a pass interference penalty. So we may end up having a record number of penalties thrown in this ball game here in the first half. We're not out of the first quarter yet. There's still 47 seconds left. Pass interference against Oregon.
Pass interference. Defense, number 34. First down at the spot of the foul.
Wow.
Hey, Jay. What's going on down there?
Same thing as I said a minute ago. Back to you. It's amazing. I mean, we're going to be here till 8 o'clock tonight. Not only because of all the penalties, but because of the long TV timeouts and all that stuff. This is a long first quarter, isn't it?
It has been a very long first quarter. 47.3 seconds remaining.
Thanks for the .3.
Yeah, well, it says it. I'll just tell you what I see. Here's Grothe, the line of scrimmage now, the 14-yard line of Oregon, first down. And Grothe's going to keep it, try to turn it up. There's nothing there. Run it up the middle and go to the 12-yard line. Going to get a couple of yards. And that's a big story right there. No penalty flag on that play. Second down. And 8 from the Oregon 12-yard line.
Obviously, Jay knows what's happening down there.
Well, you asked him twice, and I don't think I really did hear an answer. Here's second down and 8 from the Duck 12. Grothe from the shotgun. Empty backfield, so 5-receiver pattern. 3 left, 2 right. And Grothe can run the ball. From the shotgun, he's more effective. Snap from center, back to throw. He will throw. Looks and looks and looks and looks. Now we'll have to run. Being chased and hit and throws. As he's being hit, the ball just drops to the turf.
Boy, lucky there.
Oh, that ball should not have been thrown. He just threw that ball up into the air.
Well, he stopped to throw the ball, and I think when he stopped, all of a sudden, guess who's closing in on him? Big number 97, Cole Linehan. He's going to swallow him up. That ball goes straight in the air and ends the first quarter.
All right, that's the end of the first quarter. 8-0, Oregon with the lead. Back after this from Burger King.
In the second quarter here, and right now, statistically, Oregon offensively doing a pretty good job thus far. South Florida, if you can believe this, only 39 yards of total offense, but right now they're down in Oregon territory, third down at the Oregon 12-yard line. Much of this particular drive has taken them down to that point through Oregon penalties. There's been multiple penalties against both teams on this drive, but most of the big ones against Oregon. Late hit, personal foul on a third down, illegal hands to the face, offsides. There's been multiple penalties on this drive that allowed South Florida to get down to where they are, but now it brings up third down at the Oregon 12-yard line.
Eugene Springfield.
Well, we're playing football. Congratulations to Oregon State, or the Oregon women in that game over Oregon State yesterday, as the Duck women get the victory. The open Pac-10 play. Can you believe the non-conference season's over?
In December.
Yeah, how about that? Duck men will be leaving on Wednesday. I'll join them, and we'll head down to Tempe for Arizona State on Thursday night. And then Arizona on Saturday, so the Pac-10 playing away for them as well. So basketball season continues for all fans everywhere. There's never a let-up. And if you're a coach, even less of a let-up.
Yeah, no doubt. Snow they haven't seen in years.
Yeah.
And there's more to come.
More to come. More to come later this week. Third down and 8. The ball at the Oregon 12-yard line for the University of South Florida. The Bulls. Third down and 8. Grothe from the shotgun. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Snap from center, back to throw. Has time, throws it toward the end zone. It is blocked. It would have been about the 2-yard line, and I think that he probably would have gotten in. It looked like he had enough room to get in, and it was just dropped, and he's kind of looking backwards right into that sun.
Well, they got a mismatch, Jerry, is what they got. They had Jamar Taylor, a running back, number 33, being covered by Brandon Bear, a defensive end who Oregon had put themselves in a position to have to defend that running back with a defensive end, and he beat him, but couldn't catch the ball. Might have been looking in the sun.
Here's the field goal try for Delbert Alvarado. Right-footed kicker, be a 29-yard try. Kick up, looks good,
and it is good. And the Bulls have their first score. 14:49 remaining here in the first half, just underway in the second quarter. Oregon still on top of South Florida, 8-3. Back in a minute here on the Oregon Sports Network.
Last year was a winning season for the Paradise RV team, and they're starting this year with the same great lineup, beginning with Gulfstream, Tourmaster, National RV Motorhomes, and Ragin' Toy Haulers, plus a great backup of RVs of all sizes. And the Paradise RV team skills runs deep from sales to service. Paradise RV is located at the end of Roberts Road, just off I-5's exit 199. Just look for the palm trees and meet Paris, the team mascot.
For 60 years, Square Deal Lumber has been a proud supporter of Oregon Duck football, and we appreciate the hard work that the student athletes put into making the Ducks a winning team. At Square Deal Lumber, we know all about hard work, and we try to make it a little easier with quality products and helpful advice. Whether you're a do-it-yourselfer or a pro, we'll help you get the job done right. Square Deal Lumber and Hardware, where you always get a good deal and a good deal more. 4992 Main Street in Springfield. You're listening to Duck Football on News Talk 590 KUGN.
Welcome back to El Paso, Texas. Bright sunshine. They don't get a lot of rain here. But then if you were here and could look around and see the brown of the desert and the hills, you would see it's a beauty all its own. Much like the southwest desert of Arizona around Tucson and Phoenix, Tempe area.
It's different. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, it's not that Oregon doesn't have a version of this to the east side, but it's still not quite as rocky and as bleak.
Barren.
I guess
there's just not much growth at all.
Yeah, it's different, and there's no doubt about it. It's a very, Arizona-ish, but I mean, even Arizona doesn't seem like it's quite this barren.
Yeah.
But they make good use of it down here, and obviously UTEP, very attractive campus that they have. New buildings and southwestern motif, and nice stadium here, and a real nice setting. And this Sun Bowl just continues to plug along and do it right every year. That just amazes me how this bowl can continue to perform the way it does with 50,000 people almost every time.
Second oldest bowl
to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, granddaddy of them all. CBS has had this for like 14 years. Oops. Look under the right edge. I'm using binoculars here, and somebody's going to teach me how to use them. Oh, my eyes are crossed. Here's the kickoff. Going to go deep down to the 3, 5, the 10, the 15. It's Jonathan. Penalty flag down to the Patrick Chung right to the 28-yard line. That's what I was trying to do with the binoculars, is try to look up and see if I could tell who that was.
Yeah, Patrick Chung, but penalty flag. This is. I mean, come on, let him play a little bit, would you? Combined right now, 112-yard penalties, and we're basically one play into the second quarter, and that's before they mark off this one.
During the return, holding, number 13, penalized 10 yards from the end of the run. First down, Oregon.
I just, I'll reserve judgment till we get a chance to watch the replay of this and have the coaches break it down, because I just find it hard that both teams are committing this many fouls.
I mean, right now, South Florida has more penalty yards than they do offensive yards. And Oregon's closing in on theirs.
Here's first down at the 18-yard line, and Roper's going to hand it off. Jonathan going left. He's got a lot of room on his feet and out of bounds. Over in front of the Oregon bench, out near the 30-yard line. They'll mark it up at the 31, and that's a first down. That's a big run, and Oregon offensively has been able to move the ball. It is penalties that have really hurt them.
Yeah, I mean, they've really moved it pretty well, going right at George Selby on that play. So the way that sometimes you slow down the speed is you go right at it. And Selby, no doubt, probably ran right past that play.
3 receivers grouped to the right, 1 short left. I think that's Jay Will and Justin Roper. Well, the officials are really holding up the play. Oregon wants to run this hurry-up offense, and the officials very slow marking the ball. Here's Mail in motion. The ball's going to be given to Jonathan going right. Nice big hole. Cuts inside and hard across the 40 to the 44-yard line. That's another 13-yard pickup, and that's another first down.
Well, and the effect that the fly sweep, basically, or that inside motion by Jeffrey Mail has on that play, it was the same play that they pitched it to him twice on. This time they run the same motion, look like they're going to pitch it. Everybody jumps the pitch man, and Stewart has a huge hole to run through.
44-yard line. Oregon, their own 44, first down. And Roper, play fake, going to keep it, turn it up. Ball comes loose. I think the Ducks got back on it at the 49.
Ooh, did they ever. George Selvey is the one that got fooled, but then made up for it, forced the fumble, and Oregon jumps back on top of it.
Ducks got fortunate to get that one back. I think Fanucchi, can't be Fanucchi Tupou. Is that
it was.
Yep.
All right, and the ball was flat now.
Here's a pickup of 5 on that fumble, and give it to Jonathan going right. There's a hole again. Boy, is he running hard. He'll go to the 45 of Florida, South Florida, and that'll be another first down. Here's what I was talking about, what they don't want to be called. When referring to the university, please be aware of the following policy regarding usage. First, references to the school and its intercollegiate athletic program should always be the University of South Florida. The only secondary reference used should be USF or Bulls. Please refrain from using South Florida, S Florida, South Florida in intersimilar situations. I'm always suspicious of schools that tell you what they call themselves. Here's Crenshaw running outside 40. On his feet, first down the sideline 30. He'll go to the 20. Hard hit out of bounds. Down at the 19. I think they're going to mark it at the 17-yard line of South Florida.
Boy, talk about delivering the blow. Jay Allen, which end of the bench were you at there?
Well, I was at the end where he ran that, but he ran away from me in a hurry.
Oh!
What a burst of speed. He turned that corner, did Andre Crenshaw. Got down the sideline in lickety-split fashion.
Is that Nate Allen, number 5, the DB, who I think thought he was just going to run out of bounds, and he just ran right over the top of him. And now the chain crew and the officiating crew can't keep up with the game. Holy moly.
This is really a very slow officiating crew. By the way, they are from the Mid-American Conference. Referee is Bill Owls. And here's first down, Oregon. Roper, give it to Jonathan. Going left this time, no. He's going to get stacked up there ready for him as he is pushed backwards. Whistle blows, and they still don't let him go. Now they finally do. And he's going to lose about 4 yards back to the 21-yard line.
Well, they better get it together because part of the effectiveness of this offense is the pace of this offense. And if the officiating crew and the chain crew can't keep up with it, they better get it together and keep up with it because that's part of the effectiveness.
Aaron Strong and Jay Will and Jeffrey Mail come out to the right. On second down and 14, Roper with the ball, throws it, pump fake. That wants to go down the middle, launches it deep, and it's going to go way out of the back of the end zone. Trying to get it to Ed Dixon. And Dixon went down hard into the back of the end zone. He went out of the back of the end zone and down on that hard top, and he's up, pops up, and he's all right.
Well, it's that extra second to second and a half that Roper held on to the ball because he was pretty well covered, Ed Dixon down the field. But if you're going to hit him, right when he came back to him, you got to let it go. And he held on to it an extra second, and that's another 10 yards and running.
Third down at 14 at the 21 of the Bulls. Back to throw. Roper. Here's the inside screen, and it is not going to work. Back to the 21-yard line as well, and it'll be fourth down, and Oregon will have to pop up with a field goal try.
Yeah, that's one where when I think that was Jeffrey Mail that made that catch, got a little too far inside, Jerry. It's one of those ones where in that particular play the hole was outside, so it was catch and bump it back out and go out where your blockers are, and instead he just came in where all of the heat was and took a beating or a pounding because of it.
Van Evenson from the 29, a 39-yard field goal try, well within his range. Snap a little low, but placed down. The kick is up plenty long enough, and it is good. And Oregon stacks on 3 to their 8, and it is now an 11-3 Oregon lead with 12:08 left here in the first half of play. Ducks 11 and the Bulls 3, and we're back after this from Sun River Resort.
Crisp, sunny days. The crunch of snow underfoot. It's real winter at Sun River Resort. Time to make your winter escape. Rooms start at $149 per night, and you'll receive a $25 credit each night of your stay for spa services, dining, lift tickets, and more. Discover Sun River Resort, the region's premier winter destination, just 15 minutes from Bend. Visit sunriverresort.com/winter today. Offer valid through April 13th, 2008. Restrictions may apply.
It's amazing how much we all rely on our home electronics. At Bimart, we get that. Our photo electronics department has the essentials you need at prices you'll appreciate. Catch life as it happens with the latest digital cameras. Enjoy your favorite flicks in high definition. Keep your printer happy with new ink cartridges. Stay in touch safely with the newest gadgets for your cell phone. And enjoy shopping at a store where you still get answers and help from people who go the extra mile for you. We're Bimart, the right fit for the Northwest.
Sorry, but we have a laptop up here, Jay Allen's laptop, and we use it for scores and information and some statistics, and it went to sleep on us. And to get it back operating again, we've got to put the password in, and Jay won't give it to us.
A laptop up here and a comedian on the sidelines, you know.
Oh, my. 11-8, or make that 11-3. Oregon with a lead over the University of South Florida with 12:08 left here in the first half of play. They'll make wise decisions. Help them make those decisions.
Well, a nice drive there. 9 plays, 61 yards by the Ducks to answer that score, South Florida, or USF, I guess I'm supposed to say. 2:41 taken off the clock, a 39-yard field goal there by Matt Evenson, and that puts the Ducks up, as Jerry just said, 11-3 with 12:08 remaining here in the first half. In a first half that seems like it has gone forever. And ever, mostly because of all the penalties that have been called in this game thus far. 13 penalties, and we're barely past a quarter.
Here's Evenson to kick it off from our left toward the right, high and deep. This one will go back into the end zone and not be returned as it goes out of the end zone. Mike Jenkins turns and watches it go. You got to watch for Jenkins. Jenkins averages 30.5 yards a carry, and he's got one of 100 yards this year for a touchdown. So they want to kick the ball away from him, and with the wind to their back. And Jay Allen, the wind, when you look at the American flag up there, it's whipping pretty good, but there's not much down on the field, is there?
Yeah, it's whipping up around the top of the bowl, but down here on the field, it's just a light breeze. I mean, enough to kind of keep you cooled off, because that sun really is beating down pretty good. It's very comfortable down here. You couldn't ask for a better weather day.
I don't know if we will see the return to the game of their leading receiver. Carlton Mitchell is out trying to stretch out on the sidelines, and doesn't look like 100%. Here's first down, Matt Grothe, and the Bulls of South Florida from their own 20-yard line. Oregon leading 11-3. Here's the first pass, and this one almost intercepted by Walter Thurman. First pass of the series intended for wide receiver A.J. Love, who has only 5 catches coming into this game, and Thurman had it.
Oh, that's not only a pick, it's a touchdown. I mean, he had that thing right in his hands, ready to play, almost like they suckered Matt Grothe into throwing that ball, and didn't quite make him pay, but brings up 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 back at the Bulls' 20-yard line. Grothe from the shotgun, empty backfield, 3 receivers right, 2 to the left-hand side, and Grothe ready for the snap. Dan got it and back to throw. Pressure comes to the outside. He'll throw it over the middle. It is caught. It'll be close to the first down. Depending on where they mark the ball, I think it's going to be just short. 28.5, about a yard and a half short. I thought that he might turn it upfield towards Johnson, but instead he kind of came across the field one day.
Yeah, kind of came across the field and actually gave ground a little bit. So might have caught that at about the 29, but started to run backwards a little bit. Ended up just short of the 28, so it's going to bring up 3rd and a little over 2.
The running back, Benjamin Williams, goes out wide to the right. 3 receivers out there, 1 left. Watch for Grothe to run the ball here. Wait a minute.
That's the first down, or did he move?
Well, we're going to get a penalty, and I don't know who it's against. Was that Takwafu who reached across and
False start. Number 70, penalized 5 yards. Remains 3rd down.
Talk about paying for your false start.
Jared Karnas, the right tackle, moved And I think it was Wilt Taquafu who noticed him move and came across and just gave him a little two-hand shove and knocked him right back on his keister.
Have we got another Stoops on the sideline? I mean, their head coach. Yeah, I won't go there yet.
Jim Levitt is animated, to say the least. Third down now and 7, back to the 23. Here's Grothe. Blitz maybe coming, back to throw. Here come the Ducks. Looks over the middle. It is caught, and it will be for the first down. Down at the 34-yard line. And they'll mark it at the 35 first down, Bulls. Well, enough time. Oregon tried to come on the blitz and didn't get there, and that gave Grothe enough time to find a receiver.
Yep, had a good opportunity, and they came with a blitz, but weren't able to get there, and Grothe just found that zone again, Jerry, in the middle.
In the middle.
Is where he's finding some holes.
First down at the Bulls' 35-yard line, center of the field. And Grothe with a high snap will run it. Going to turn it up and get hit hard across the 37 and down just short of the 38-yard line. It'll be second down at about 7. Duck football brought to you by Pacific Source Health Plans. Whenever you go, wherever you go, you're covered. Pacific Source Health Plans on the web at pacificsource.com. Oregon really dominating in this football game, with the exception of penalties, which have given South Florida an opportunity. Here's 3 receivers out to the right, 1 short left. On second down and 8 for Grothe. With a snap back to throw, the straight drop. Looks, now going to run and has some room. 40, trying to go outside, dragged down at the 39-yard line, and a late penalty flag.
I don't know how.
Personal foul.
I don't know how you call that a late hit. We get a replay over here on the screen, and he barely brushes Grothe's helmet.
Personal foul.
You gotta be
late
kidding
hit,
me.
helmet contact, number 30. Penalized 15 yards, automatic first down.
Okay, so there was helmet contact, but it's not like he came in with a forearm and gave him a forearm shiver to the side of the head. He brushed the top of his head while he's falling down. This, I'll tell you what.
Officiating crew's not very good.
No, both ways.
Yeah, both ways.
But right now, there's some big ones going against Oregon.
All the way down to the 46-yard line of Oregon. Grothe on first down with the Bulls. High snap will hand it off and trying to go outside and getting across the 40. Another flag comes.
You have got to be kidding me.
Somebody needs to get a hold of this officiating crew and take him into a room and talk to him.
So
let him play the football game, guys.
Is this a makeup call?
Holding. Yeah, this is a makeup call is what that is. I'm sorry if it sounds like sour grapes, but both ways they're calling this ball game. Let them play the football game. Now, their officials sitting listening to me right
Holding.
now.
Number 71, offense, penalized 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
No, I mean, Jerry, you could call holding on every play in every game if you wanted to, and officials would tell you that too. And, again, if you've got a personal foul, a late hit, something that's going to be flagrant, you throw a flag. But these are little nitpicky things that they're starting to do.
They really are. 44-yard line, the penalty back to the South Florida 44 now. First and 20. And back to throw Grothe. Little screen. Throws. Not going to work. Great tackle made and lost yardage. They'll give him forward progress to the 40. And that's going to be a loss of 4 more. And going to bring up second down and a long one.
That's Kevin Garrett, by the way.
Wow.
The linebacker read that one.
Wait a minute. Oh, no, there's no play. Oh, boy. Yeah, Jeremy Gibbs came in on that little dump pass just as he let go of the ball and really took Grothe down. Here's second down and 24 from the Bulls' 40-yard line. Grothe, empty backfield with 5 receivers set to go. Waits for the snap and will have it back to throw. 3-man rush for Oregon. Ducks it over short to the 45 to the 46. And it'll be a short gain of 6 yards, and it'll be third down and long. On the catch, wide receiver is Courtney Denson. 11-3. Oregon with a lead, 8:18 left here in the first half. And just across the 45-yard line makes it third down and 18. Third and 18 for Matt Grothe, sophomore quarterback. Empty backfield, though. He's got a running back set to his right as a blocking back. Oregon maybe showing blitz. They're going to come on third down and long. Here they come. Send to Farm. Pressure comes, and they will not get to him. He's going to run it. And he's going to go 45, 40, and out of bounds in front of the South Florida bench at the 32-yard line, and that's a first down.
Well, there you saw the speed of Matt Grothe, who looked like he was going to get sacked. Oregon came with the blitz in a third and long situation. I thought they might just have Grothe go back to pass, keep everything in front of you, make him complete a short pass, and then make the tackle. Instead, they took a chance, and Grothe made him pay.
That's the longest running play of the day for the Bulls. And Grothe from the Ducks' 32-yard line. First down, left hash mark. Back to throw again. Sets, pump, fake, throw, over the middle, caught. And that'll be another first down to the 22-yard line. They're very near it. They'll mark it to the 21, and that is a first down.
Really, just being patient, you know. Being patient, taking what Oregon's giving them, kind of just nickeling them and diming them in front, and then you have Grothe, who is the team. I mean, if you can't tell right now, this offense is built around number 8. And without number 8, it's going to be a completely different team, but he's a pretty tough, strong guy.
Jesse Hester Jr. on that catch, his 33rd of the year. Here's first down and 10 at the Duck 21-yard line. And Grothe ready, waits for the snap. Got it, we'll go back to throw again. Sets, looks, pressure comes, will roll right. Still looking, still looking, still looking. Now we'll throw it out of back of the end zone, incomplete. He knew he didn't have anybody open, and he had run far enough to the right-hand side that, well, he'll get rid of it. Don't take the sack, and he wisely does that. Stops the clock with 7:13 remaining here in the first half. And Oregon on top, 11-3. It'll bring up second down and 10. Again at the Oregon 21-yard line. Oregonians know where to find harvest, fresh flavor, and homegrown value. Next time you're at your local grocer's freezer, reach for Flavor Pack, your hometown favorite since 1924. University of South Florida going from our right to our left. And now down to the Oregon 21-yard line, second and 10. Grothe will forward to his left, back to throw the ball again. Sets up, pressure comes, will try to run away from it, and will get away from one man. Now throw it down to the end zone, and it's going to be a touchdown. What a play. Grothe was being tackled in the backfield, got spun around and kept his balance instead of going down, and then just slung it down the field and found an open man.
That's all on Grothe right there. And Oregon basically gave up on the play, is what it looks like. They thought he was sacked, so they came up to help try to make the sack, and instead Grothe gets away from, it looked like for Oregon, the guy who was going to make the tackle, David Faytete, doesn't, and Grothe makes a pay, and now USF is going for 2 to try to tie this game.
Doris Johnson came back and helped out his quarterback, caught the ball about the 3, and then took it over to the middle of the field and in for the touchdown. And a 2-point conversion try for Grothe. Oregon didn't have enough men on the left side of the field to defend. Now they're ready. Here's Grothe, empty backfield, wants to throw it. Here's the quick throw, and it is caught. 2-point conversion. We are tied up at 11. 7:04 remaining in this first half. Or do we have a penalty flag down? The injury player, the Florida player, so we're all right. Other than him, we hope he's okay. 7:04 remaining in the first half, tied at 11. Ducks and the Bulls back after this from Oregon Community Credit Union. Well, we get a ball game. 11-11, the tie with 7:04 left in the first half. And the South Florida player getting help up is an offensive lineman. Looks like Mark Dial. He's 6'4", 309, and a junior. And he is really walking gingerly on his left foot or leg. And we certainly hope that it is not a serious injury and that he'll be able to return for the Bulls. You just don't like to see any players, either side, get injured and miss an opportunity to play. I don't care how great you are. I mean, I'm sure some fans would say, gee, if they could just get to Grothe and take him out, what an opportunity that would be for Oregon. But you don't want to see that to any player.
No, but Grothe is the team right now. He's what's carrying this Bulls team. That was an 11-play, 80-yard drive. 5:04 taken off the clock. Grothe, the touchdown pass, and then the 2-point pass to Hill for the conversion that gets this game to a tie, 11-11 with 7:04 left in the game. But those last two drives for points that South Florida has gotten have taken basically 12 minutes total, 5 and 7 minutes. So thus far in the game, South Florida's had time of possession 15 minutes to Oregon's 8. And again, I'll take points anytime on short drives, but right now South Florida just kind of dink and dump and dink and dump.
And penalties. Penalties have kept their drives alive.
Penalties and that type of deal, but also a nice third down scramble by Groth. He kept that alive, and then to get out of that potential sack by David Fayetete, he looked like he was dead in the rights there. Comes up, he's got a wide open receiver, puts it on the money, and they score a touchdown. So South Florida just making enough plays to stay in this thing. And, you know, Oregon right now, offensively, defensively, looks like the better team, but it's 11-11, and that's what counts.
Looks like Patrick Chung again and Jonathan Stewart down inside of Oregon's 10, right at the 10-yard line.
Is that Patrick Chung? I don't know. It almost looks like Walter Thurman.
Is that number 6? Jay Allen, can you look down and see from here? They're turning sideways to us. We cannot see.
Yeah, it is number 6, I believe.
Walter Thurman would be
or
Walter,
Derek Jones.
Or Derek Jones.
Could be one of the two, but it looks like Walter Thurman just based on how he's standing there. And is that, I think that's Andre Crenshaw, isn't it? It doesn't look like Jonathan Stewart.
His legs don't look big enough.
No, his arms. And that's not to say anything bad about Andre Crenshaw.
It is Andre Crenshaw, by the way. It is Crenshaw. 11-11. Duck football brought to you today by Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light, refreshingly smooth. Bud Light, always worth it. And Delbert Alvarado tees the ball up. 11-11 tie here with 7:04 left in the first half. Here's Alvarado approaching the ball, kicking down to our left. It's going to go high and deep, and it will be taken by Walter Thurman. Thurman's going to go left, way behind the wedge. 20, that's it at the 25, and hard out of bounds over in front of the Oregon bench at about the 25-yard line.
Well, for a kickoff that was designed to go left towards the Oregon sideline, that probably should have been fielded by Crenshaw with Walter Thurman as the lead blocker, because he went in and caught that, and Crenshaw could never get out in front of him to be a blocker for him. So that's what you call I want the ball, and I guess there's nothing wrong with that.
First down Oregon at their own 25, and now needing to try to get some fire back. They had some momentum going, but it's been a while since they've been on the field.
Well, both teams just trading scores the last 2 or 3 drives.
First down, the Ducks at their own 25. Roper, with Jonathan beside him, will hand it off to him. He's going to go right, trying to get a block, and gets outside to the 30, and then out of bounds at the 31-yard line.
There's a flag.
Wow, there's a late, and then 3 flags come flying in. Hopefully those are not offsetting, because 2 of the officials who threw those flags could not see the late hit way deep in the Florida bench.
Yeah, number 90, obviously, for South Florida. That was stupid. But what you don't see any coach saying anything to him over on the sideline. But then 2 more flags came in on a play I don't think I was watching, because I was watching on the sideline, Jerry. So, yeah, you sure hope these aren't offsetting.
The line of scrimmage,
if you're Oregon, obviously.
yeah, is it would be a run to the 30-yard line.
That just the play by Bowie, number 90, just was not smart. He was out of bounds, and then he just decided to throw him. But the other 2 flags that came in late, I don't think were associated with that one.
Officials are taking a long time to talk this one over. Little 4-man party out there. Looks like a poker party. 4 guys setting up, trying to decide which call to make here. They get it right. They take their time to get it right. But this is more than 1 call. This is more than 1 foul. Well, let's make sure, too. I'm wondering if you got maybe a disqualification.
There are 3 dead ball fouls on the play. Dead ball, personal foul, late hit. Dead ball, personal foul, late hit. The dead ball, personal foul, late hit. Those penalties offset. It'll be second down.
How do 2 on one team and 1 on the other offset?
I think once you get offsetting, it pretty much nullifies everything. Apparently. Mike Pilati talking on the far side of the umpire.
Well, do you think Mike Pilati ain't going to have a few words for his team in the locker room?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But at the same time,
and that's no yards against anybody there, and yet that's huge.
First down run, by the way, to the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10. Here's Roper. Give it to Jonathan again, going right. Cut it back. 35. Still on his feet across the 37-yard line. Ball pops out, but he's down, and it'll be a pickup of 7 yards, almost 8. And South Florida. Well, the man getting up a little slowly, but I think he's all right. And that is I'm confused because the line of scrimmage was the 20. They got the first down to the 30. Now he ran to the 37, and they gave a first down. Did I miss a play?
They got 5 yards on the first play, the dead ball. But
dead ball, maybe that was it. Here's Crenshaw. Big hole up the middle and across the 45. Another helmet comes off. That's the South Florida helmets.
They want to pick up the pace. You can see Dennis Dixon and everybody over on the sideline saying, pick up the pace, get it going, get it going.
At the 46.
Be interested, Jay, if you can get a little report on Jonathan Stewart down there. He limped out on that last play.
Well, you know, it's got to be the toe. Here's 2nd and 2. Roper waits for the snap and got it, fumbles it, and going to dive back on the 40-yard line with it.
Boy, in a 2nd and 2 situation, too, Jerry, that's what you hate to see, is waste a play there on a mediocre snap that probably could have been handled a little bit better by Justin Roper, but you take 2nd and 2 and you turn it into 3rd and 8.
Back at the 40-yard line.
Makes things tougher. If South Florida gets a stop here, they got a chance to take the lead.
5:42 left in the half. Tied at 11. Here's Roper with a snap and back to throw with time. Throws a short screen over the middle. Nice play. Penalty flag down again. It'll be for a first down, but a penalty flag down back at the 45.
Well, I think Oregon had receivers or had linemen downfield on that completion is what they might have got them for the fact that the completion was past the line of scrimmage. There's nothing wrong with it if you have linemen downfield as long as you complete it behind the line of scrimmage. But Crenshaw was 2-3 yards past the line of scrimmage when he caught that ball, so it's probably going to be the illegal receivers downfield.
And the officials, the next call.
Holding, number 75. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 3rd down.
I should have known that. Holding.
And Jeff Schwartz is really arguing with the official about that call. He really does not like that call. And this is getting to be disgusting, and I feel badly for the players on both sides.
I think he had pretty much buried his player on the play, Jerry, is what he had done. And the guy couldn't get up. That doesn't mean he's holding him.
Penalty back to the 35-yard line. 3rd and 13 now for Roper. Waits for the snap on 3rd and 13 and has it and back to throw. 3-man rush, steps up, throws it down the middle. It's high and incomplete. And it'll be 4th down. And Oregon will punt it away. I'm thoroughly disgusted by the officiating in this ballgame. We're not even at halftime yet. That's just terrible.
Right now, 17 penalties combined for 162 yards between the two teams.
And these are two good football teams. These are not two teams that have had penalty problems this year. 4th down. And deep. Marcus Edwards at his own 23-yard line. Cyree will punt from his own 25. The line of scrimmage at 35. Rush comes in, but he gets it away. Booms it very, very high and very, very deep, all the way back to the 10-yard line. 20, and hit from behind and slowed down to the 24-yard line on the return. A huge, huge punt by Cyree. And it will be with 5:01 remaining here in the first half. South Florida ball at their own 25-yard line where they'll put it and we'll take the timeout. We are tied at 11. Oregon and the University of South Florida back after this from the Oregon Friar Commission.
Bad, but Cal finally got it going.
Carlton Mitchell is back in the game now for South Florida, flanked out to the right, and here's first down and rolling right to throw. Grothy's wide open. Wide receivers got it for 30, 35, 40, reverses, and across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Well, they lost Cedric Hill. Actually, is a tight end. It came off the line of scrimmage, and they just kind of dripped it out into that right flat.
Well, it came in motion across, across the formation, Jerry, and on the snap, he went the opposite direction that he came in motion from, and everybody lost him. Lost Matt Grothy, too. I mean, Grothy could have run for that yardage as well, but he dumped it to his receiver, and now now South Florida, 1st and 10 at their own 43.
43-yard line, right hash. Grothy from the shotgun this time. Two receivers, one receiver out left back to throw the ball. Looks left. A lot of time. Now we'll run right, and we'll throw the ball out of bounds on purpose and get rid of the football to avoid the sack and make it 2nd down and 10. Boy, he was looking hard left. He wanted to go to the left, and he just couldn't find anybody out there.
No pressure.
None at all that time.
I mean, good coverage down the field, which is why he ended up having to scramble to his right and throw that thing out of balance, but just no pressure whatsoever.
It's only a sophomore. He's got a great career ahead of him. 2nd down and 10 at the Florida 43-yard line, South Florida 43. And Grothy again waits for and has the snap from the gun. Back to throw. Pressure comes, gets away from Fantete, wants to go deep, way downfield, and it is almost intercepted. Walter Thurman dueling along with Matthew Harper, and that ball was almost up for grabs. Was that Thurman first or Johnson that was intended for? I think it was Doris Johnson.
But boy, what a great job Walter Thurman does, not only with the coverage, Jerry, but he watches the receiver until the receiver gives it away that the ball is coming, and then turns his head, finds the ball at the last minute, and almost makes the interception. The receiver, frankly, is what knocked that one away from him.
3rd down attempt for Grothy at his own 43-yard line. Again, right hash mark, empty backfield, 2 receivers right, 3 left. And the Ducks on 3rd and 10 defensively will back off and play. Here's the throw. It is knocked into the air and incomplete.
Jarvis Bird almost picked that one off.
That was close again, and it'll be 4th down, and Oregon's defense steps back up, and we'll get the ball back for their offense with 4:09 left here in the first half. And again, we're tied at 11. Coming up, AT&T halftime report.
The most consecutive plays so far in the game that a flag has not been thrown. That's 3. The streak is 3. We'll keep it counting.
Amazing. Here is the Albert Alvarado, the punt. And a good snap. Not much of a rush this time. He's a great punter in this game so far. Punts it very high. Angles it out of bounds, though. And this one might come back upfield a ways. Kicks it toward the right side, and it's going to go out at the 23-yard line, so not a bad punt. And a timeout. Duck football brought to you by State Farm and your local Oregon State Farm agents. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Our AT&T halftime report is coming up. We are 4 minutes and 1 second away from that. We're tied at 11 here at the Brute Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. And we're back in a moment here along the... All right, apparently we can't. Okay, we've already taken extra breaks. All right, I'm glad I caught that. You caught that. Thank you very much. We are done with our breaks in the first half, so we'll stay here with our format and go down to Jay Allen and see how Jay can tap dance for a while. There's a bandito down here.
What now?
Down in front here? The bandolero? Yeah. He's got the...
He's got a bandito. Aren't they called Comancheros? Isn't that a Comanchero? I don't know. I used to watch the Western movies. That was always what they called them, I think.
I don't remember, but he's got the old, the two belted bullets across each shoulder. Big sombrero.
Yeah. There's about a half dozen sombreros down the first row right behind the South Florida bench. South Florida fans wearing the sombreros. Good day out here today. Full house on a sunny day here in El Paso, Texas, and nice and warm down there on the sideline too, isn't it, Jay?
Yeah, it actually is pretty toasty. I made the decision to wear a black Oregon Duck jacket, and it's pretty warm down here, actually. I mean, it's got to be about 65, maybe pushing 70 degrees. You can't really feel that breeze much at all. The players, they love playing in these conditions because it's just perfect, not too warm, not too cold, obviously. And just a great atmosphere, and a lot of people said, hey, we're not going to make the trip to El Paso. It's been a pretty good trip and pretty good ball game to this point.
It really has. But here's Roper on first down, and the snap, and hand it up. Noah go back to throw. And throws going downfield. That'll be a face guard. Oh, there's no penalty flag?
No.
Okay, no penalty flag.
Got to get the ball out there. He had Ed Dixon, and Ed Dixon had beaten his defender. It looked like number 32, Carlton Williams, and he had just gotten past him, but Roper just kind of threw that one a little bit low and a line drive instead of giving it some air and letting this guy run under it.
2nd down and 10 back to the 23-yard line. It's 2nd and 10. Roper hand the ball off up the middle. Jonathan will stutter step and pulled down by the helmet, it looks like. at about the 28-yard line. It's going to be a pickup of 4 near 5 yards. It'll be third down at about 5. 3:43 left here in the first half, and an 11-11 tie.
That play actually had a lot more yards in it than I think that Jonathan. He tried to kind of cut back to his left when he should have kept going to his right.
Here's third down and 5, almost a 4, and the snap, and give it to him again. There's the first down, and he's loose. He's at the 50, and he's got the speed. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. Touchdown, Jonathan Stewart. No penalty flags down. Oregon is back on top, and that's how you run the football. Wow. Like you said, his toe was not bothering him too much on that run. Now, he may come off limping, but the adrenaline was flowing, and he just flat took off.
Well, I think about the last 15 yards he started limping, but the burst of speed that shot him out ahead of everybody, Jerry, is what happened. And then he got a blocker down the field to help him out, where he was able to back off that speed and waltz into the end zone. But holy cow, did he burst out of that pack.
17-11 extra point try coming up. Kick on the way up by Evanston is good, and Oregon leads it with 3:17 left now in the first half, 18-11. And that offensive series didn't take long, and I think you said during one of the breaks, Georgie, you will take points in a hurry.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a 2-play or 3-play drive, whoop-de-doo if it only takes a minute. That one right there, 44 seconds, 3 plays, 77 yards, and it was the long run there by Jonathan Stewart. In fact, all 77 yards were Jonathan Stewart. A 5-yard run, and then the rest of it, 72 yards on that run. Now Jonathan Stewart, 12 carries and 142 yards here at the Sun Bowl in the first half. So still with 3:17 remaining after the Matt Evenson extra point, Oregon now leads 18-11. Still plenty of time for South Florida, obviously, to try to get some points on the board, but you'll take it anytime you can.
South Florida this year has given up an average of only 112 yards rushing per game. And now Oregon is well over that in the first half.
Oh, yeah, 202 yards rushing in the first half, Jerry, on 19 carries is what they have. So they have established the line of scrimmage, and then Justin Roper's done a pretty good job of managing the game. Frankly, I think he's had some throws there that he could have made, and it's just kind of thrown the wrong ball, if you know what I mean. Instead of putting some air under it and letting the guy run under it in a one-on-one situation, as in the first down play on this last drive before Jonathan Stewart took it the distance, had Ed Dixon, just needed to put it out there in a one-on-one situation and let him run under it. Instead, he kind of threw it on a low trajectory, a bullet, and allowed the defender to make the play. But nonetheless, a nice drive there for Oregon right before the end of the half. Now, if the defense can hold on, they'll be in great shape going into halftime.
It's kind of throwing that redshirt freshman ball, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the same type of ball I think you saw Kellen Clemens throw early in his career.
No doubt.
Same type of ball Dennis Dixon threw.
That's exactly right.
You want to rifle it when that might not be the right throw in that situation. So, but he's played pretty well.
3:17 remaining first half. Oregon on top, 18-11. And maybe more importantly, they answered the momentum that South Florida had developed.
By the way, that's 6 plays and counting now with no flags being thrown.
Keep track of that. It could be a record. Evenson has it teed up to kick it off. Norris Johnson is deep. And here's the kick. It'll either be Johnson or Jerome Murphy. And this one's not going to be either one. Murphy's going to take it deep in the end zone. And it'll be a touchback, and it'll be out to the 20-yard line. And South Florida has got a man down at the 20, and he is not moving at all. Now he raises up. Okay, that's good to see him move. Boy, he looked like he was unconscious. He was flat. He started to get up, and now he went right back down. This may take a while. South Florida coaching staff over there immediately. And a couple of Oregon players as well, a couple of South Florida players over there showing their concern. And the referees go over to pull Oregon players away. And the Duck players pointed to the South Florida players and said, hey, their guys are right there. And now the players begin to gather around, pull their helmets off, and take a knee.
This one might be a little bit of a delay, huh?
Yeah, you can tell those guys are saying a prayer down there in the field. Man, we're going to get a timeout. We get a chance to get maybe a bonus network in here, because this is going to take a while. It looked like, and I don't want to really give you a wrong number for South Florida, but I thought it was 80 or 78 marked down, but I just couldn't tell.
What's real unfortunate for us up here, Jerry, today is we have no monitor up here to be able to see replays. So you people at home that maybe have your TV turned down and listen to our radio broadcast, we appreciate you doing that. We don't have any way of describing what's going on or to say it was the right call or wrong call. I hope there's no replays out there, because we're not going to be able to give you our opinion. So
they're going to raise him up. He's going to get up. Oh, that is great. That is great to see.
But it's also tough for us to tell what has happened to put a player in that type of position. And yeah, glad to see him get up, because it looked like there for a minute it was going to take a little while.
Still hard to really see from up here what that number is. 39. I heard Jay saying it, but Jordy was talking. Jay, I'm sorry if I had to have you give it to me again, but Richard Kelly is walking off under his own power, and he looks like he's going to be okay. He might have just got his bell rung, and if he did, that is a concussion. He may not be back. Special teams player, Richard Kelly. Your running back. Here's first down now for Grothy from his own 20, and the snap and back to throw. Has a lot of time, wants to go deep, and it is caught, I think, all the way up at the 47-yard line. And that's just too much time to let a quarterback throw the ball.
Well, too much time, and then you allow number 81, Bogan, to be able to get up into the hole. And in that one, Matthew Harper just needs to come across, and instead of going for the interception, just get a hand and knock it down, because by going for the interception, it ended up a dual possession type of deal, and the catch goes USF's way.
47-yard line of the Bulls, first down. Grothy ready again, and will take the snap and go back to throw again with time. Throws it down the right side, got his man, caught out of bounds right away at the Oregon 37-yard line.
Boy, they found something all of a sudden, haven't they?
Well, they're picking Oregon secondary apart right now.
This would be kind of really disappointing for Oregon to get the big run by Jonathan Stewart to take this 18-11 lead with about 3 minutes to begin this drive, and all of a sudden 11 seconds later they're on the Oregon 37-yard line, 1st and 10, and almost into scoring territory with plenty of time to spare.
Grothy has beside him Mike Ford, tailback, and 3 receivers all to the right. The tight end Cedric Hill tied to the right side from the Duck 37-yard line, first down. Down to 2:49 left. And Grothy taking a long time now, has it, and we'll go back to throw again. Now we're going to run. Design run up the middle, looking for a little hole, goes inside of the 30 to about the 29.5-yard line. And they're going to put it right on the 30. So it'll be second down and almost 3. Second and 2.5.
Everything Grothy, I'll tell you that. He is he's a tough kid.
As advertised.
As advertised, he is the real deal.
Second down, 3 from the Duck 30. Grothy under center this time. Bell behind, or rather Ford behind him. The tailback, and he will get the ball, trying to go outside, now up and hit hard across the 29. It goes down at the 28. Wanted to go in, then go out, and decided to try to go back in, and by then Oregon closed in and got him down for the short gain. It will not be a first down. It's going to be third down at about a half a yard.
It's pretty amazing that right now South Florida only has 30 yards total rushing. Matt Grothy has 37. They didn't count that first snap that went over his head against him. But nonetheless, it's all Grothy.
He's up under center on third down and a half a yard. Grothy going to keep it himself. Penalty flags will fly. And I don't think he got the first down. The question is, though, who's the flag against?
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Was Oregon in the neutral zone, or did the offense move? The ball, I don't think he ran enough for the first down.
Well, we have 9 plays before the next flag, so we've got to start over, but who's this one going to be against?
No indication yet.
Line up in the neutral zone here.
Offsides, Oregon.
Offside. Defense. Number 99 lined up in the neutral zone. The penalty will result in a first down.
It's amazing.
That'll take the ball 5 yards from the original spot, which was the 29-yard line. It's 28-yard. They'll take it 5 yards and put it down to the 23. So with 1:31 remaining, here's first down, Grothy. And they'll start the clock on the snap and back to throw. Throws in the left-hand flat. It's caught inside of the 15 to about the 12-yard line. And that's going to be another first down. Stop the clock with 1:19 remaining. So they put the ball just inside the 13, and he had to get to the 13 for the first down, so it is just touching the 12-yard line, first down. Stop the clock to move the chains. 2 receivers out to the right. And that will be Johnson and Edwards. 1 receiver short left-hand side. And here's Grothy up under center and backhand, hand the ball off. Right up the middle and swarmed under at the 11-yard line. And a very short gain. Now South Florida still has 2 timeouts remaining with a minute to play. Now they'll call one with 57 seconds left in the half. So they're down to 1 timeout with 57 seconds left in the half. And it'll be second down and 9, and we're going to get you an ID. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Oregon Sports Network.
KUGN, Eugene, Springfield.
57 seconds left. Jay Allen down on the sideline. It's kind of a Donnybrook now, back and forth. But, Jay, you still get the sense that Oregon this has a little more offense, a little more defense in this football game.
Yeah, maybe a little more balance for the Ducks offensively, and not having to rely on any one player, although Jonathan Stewart has had a great first half. But defensively, I mean, the Ducks, boy, they have played their hearts out. Obviously had some costly penalties on some of the earlier drives, but it has been a pretty, a pretty good game in spite of the officials in a lot of ways, to be completely honest with you.
No, it has. It really has been a very good ball game. We've seen some big plays, good defensive stops, some big offensive plays. Right now, South Florida has it second down and 9 at the Oregon 10-yard line, almost second and 8. They could go, if they went 9 yards, they'd get a first down. Empty backfield for Grothy with 57 seconds left, second and 8.5. And a snap and back to throw. He lifts up, going to run maybe, or still going to pass. Throws toward the back of the end zone, and it's way out of the back of the end zone, incomplete. That'll bring up third down. And 8.5, almost 9. They can get a first down if they get it to the 2-yard line. It'll be third down with 50 seconds remaining. If Oregon can hold South Florida to a field goal here, that would be huge going in, because South Florida will get the ball to come out in the second half. Grothy will go empty backfield. 2 receivers right.
Yeah, you don't want to give him too much room, I would think, here for South Florida. You might want to think about a little bit of a quarterback draw situation.
3 receivers right, 2 to the left from the 10 of Oregon. Grothy waits for the snap. Oregon almost jumped back to throw the ball. Looks and looks and looks and looks. Still looking. Now will slip down back at the 19-yard line. Well, I think he was going to go down anyway. Whether he slips or not, there wasn't much there, because Oregon was starting to close in. Clock running down to 35 seconds, and that really makes it a little tougher of a field goal try here.
Yeah, I think South Florida just might let the clock go all the way down to the last play of the half being this field goal, since they just wound the 25-second clock is at 16. You're going to have about 3 seconds left, so it'll be the last play of the half.
They'll let it go down, and
you know, Jerry, it almost looked like Oregon jumped off sides, but it almost looked like a false snap by the center. It's almost like he twitched before he got ready to snap the ball, and you can't do that.
4.3 seconds remaining. I can't remember a scoreboard clock in football showing tenths of seconds. Do we have one this year? I don't know. You've seen basketball, but not football. So a 30-second timeout for Florida. So they will bring in Delbert Alvarado. Now, he has not been real good. 17 of 27 this year. 47 yards, his longest. He's had 3 blocked.
Yeah, but I think, and you're right, I mean, from a percentage standpoint overall, but I think Jay Allen and I were talking about it for the game, Jay, and I think coming into this game, he'd made 8 of his last 9, hadn't he?
Yeah, he had made 8 out of his last 9, I believe it was, but was 17 of 27 for the season.
Yeah, so I mean, from an overall standpoint, not the greatest of percentages, but, you know, coming into the game, he'd been a pretty accurate guy. In his last 9 kicks, made 8. He's made 1 here today so far, so 9 for his last 10. Feeling pretty good about himself. This one's going to be about a 35-yarder from the left hash mark.
35-yard field goal should be the final play of the half. And now the timeout called on. Mike Bellotti was over on the far side, called the timeout.
Timeout.
Nice job.
Oregon.
Coming up, our AT&T halftime report brought to you by the official wireless provider of the University of Oregon Athletics, AT&T. Oregon uses their first timeout. The Bulls used their last a moment ago. Well, it'll be interesting to see, what, I don't know if they've ever talked to an official. What do you guys talk about at halftime? You talk about, well, we're calling this one a little tight, let's loosen up a little bit. Or if it's been a little loose, you say, let's tighten it up a little bit. What do officials, you talk about adjustments that teams make at halftime. What adjustments do officials make at halftime?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because, there's been a lot of, there have been a lot of extra activities after some of the plays. There's no doubt about it. Some shoving, some pushing, some shots to the face or out of bounds or that type of deal. But there's been a lot of flags in between on some other stuff that might be more ticky-tacky. And you got to make a decision and do it this way the whole time or not.
Mike's going to call timeout again. Oh, he did.
He can't call 2 in a row.
He did. The kick is up and good. But Bellotti was standing over there right by the line judge, right in his ear.
We'll get Mike later.
I thought he was going to lean in and call timeout again. What he was doing over there?
I've been asking about what they were going to talk about in there at halftime.
That might have been.
What do you officials talk about at halftime when you call a game like this?
Alvarado's 35-yard field goal is good to end the first half, and we have an 18-14 football game. Wasn't there a song that started like that? 18-14. They took a little trip. I think there was. 18-14. Oregon with the lead over the University of South Florida here at the Brute Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. Our AT&T halftime show is coming up next. After this, from Pepsi.
Dumping it 5 yards here and 10 yards there and making the first downs. But let's go over the stats. Right now, first downs, South Florida 16 and Oregon 11. Rushing yards, Oregon 202 in the first half, only 26 for South Florida. Passing yards, South Florida 168 and Oregon 74. So total offense right now, Oregon 276 to 194 for South Florida. Not a whole lot of kickoff return or punt return yardage, so I'm not going to go over that. Oregon has lost a fumble. They fumbled actually twice. Justin Roper fumbled once. George Selvey forced that fumble, but Oregon was able to get back on it. And then Jeffrey Mayle on a nice run on the first initial drive of the game did fumble it. South Florida took over on their own 45, but didn't do anything with it. And right now, South Florida, no turnovers in this game. Penalties, it's the story of the game, frankly. Oregon 11 penalties, 108 yards in the first half, and South Florida 7 penalties for 59 yards, combining themselves 18 penalties, 167 yards. That has tied a Sun Bowl record, and we have a second half to go. Time of possession. Right now, South Florida leads that one, 19 minutes to 11 for Oregon. Third down conversions. South Florida 2 of 7, Oregon 3 of 6. And individually right now, Matt Grothe, the leading rusher on the team, 9 carries for 29 yards. He had a 22-yard scramble on third down to convert into a first down, keep a drive going. For Oregon, Jonathan Stewart, 12 carries, 146 yards, including a 71-yard touchdown run. Andre Crenshaw, 4 carries for 42 yards. Right now passing, Matt Grothe 13 of 25, 168 yards and a touchdown. Justin Roper 9 of 15 for 74 yards and a touchdown. Leading receivers, Jesse Hester 3 for 35 right now. Torres Johnson 2, Cedric Hill 2, and Marcus Edwards 2 for South Florida. For the Ducks, Jeffrey Mayle has 3 receptions, but only for 2 yards, most of them on kind of wide sweep passes. Garen Strong has 2 catches for 24 yards and that touchdown pass, and Derek Jones 1 for 29. Punting right now, Delby Alvarado for South Florida, averaging 43 yards a punt. And Josh Cyree, 48.5 yards a punt. So both punters doing a pretty good job right now. Leading tackler right now for South Florida, Tyrone McKenzie. He's also leading tackler for their team on the season. Has 5 tackles. Patrick Chung and Jerome Boyd share that tackling duty for Oregon with 7 each. The halftime statistics have been brought to you by Bud Light, to you by Bi-Mart, your Northwest membership discount store. And down to Jay Allen we go.
All right, here with Coach Bellotti. And, Coach, I don't know about you. It's been a while since I've seen that much yellow laundry on the field in the first half. But your thoughts on that first half of football?
Well, yeah, I'm very disappointed. I mean, we were one of the least penalized teams in our conference and in the best in the nation. But today, the officials, there's a lot of flags going, and I'm not saying we didn't do it. I'm bothered by that because the score should not be what it is. It should be by twice as much, and we just have to continue to play good football and play with better poise and better control.
How about Justin Roper in that first half? I thought he looked pretty solid most of the way.
I was pleased. With the exception of dropping the snap, I was really pleased. I've said that he was one of the most improved players on this football team. He's done a great job this year and really taken advantage of the bowl practices and gotten sharper and sharper. Really, really pleased.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Head coach Mike Bellotti as the Ducks lead it at the half, 18-14 over the University of South Florida. And our halftime report has been brought to you by AT&T. AT&T is the official wireless provider of the University of Oregon Athletics. We're back with second half action after this on TV that year when Oregon and Minnesota played here. Both teams getting ready to come out, and again remind you, 18 penalties in the first half. That ties a Sun Bowl record for penalties in a game, not a half, in a game. As both teams have come out at South Florida won the toss of the coin to begin the game, and they deferred. They wanted their defense on the field first, and it worked as they forced a turnover by the Ducks. But then they were not able to do anything with it and were forced to punt it away. But because they did defer, they will get the ball to start the second half. The Sun setting back to our right, kind of behind us on the west, as we are looking east-northeast here at the Sun Bowl. So the sun could become a factor in your eyes if you're looking back into that. And in the third quarter, that could be the case for Oregon. I think there was at least one pass play in the first half for South Florida where the sun might have been a factor in a dropped ball by a receiver that was open. Oregon will have that sun if they throw a ball to the right side. The receiver will be looking back into the sun. And football games are all about two halves. And halftime adjustments really can be huge. And, Jorgie, you wonder what type of adjustments each team talked about at halftime.
Boy, don't you though? Because, I mean, they have not stopped Jonathan Stewart at all in the first half.
Here's the kickoff to start the second half. Very high and deep and not returnable. It will not come out as Torres Johnson says, nope, we'll take a knee and go out to the 20-yard line. Let's go down on the field to start the second half. Jay Allen is on the sideline with the Ducks. Jay, anything you can tell us?
Yeah, and really not great news injury-wise for Oregon. Jeffrey Mail had his bell rung, they call it, in that first half. They are calling it a mild concussion. They're going to hold him out for the rest of this football game, which is a pretty big loss for that Oregon offense.
Yeah, I mean, he was a key to obviously some of that reverse and that inside fake stuff that was going on. It's going to be probably more so Aaron Pflugrad that gets a lot more playing time now as a result of that. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see how things play out.
In the shade of one of the light standards that are on here is Matt Grothe from his own 20 on first down. Empty backfield now, as he will take the snap and throw the quick one-man, that's not even a screen, it's just a one-man pass on the outside for a 7-yard gain. It's almost like a bubble screen, but there's no bubble.
Yeah, he just got the snap and zinged it right out to number 18 out there, Murray Jackson. And open field out there is what Jarris Bird has to do, kind of not try to bite or come up too hard. You got to make an open field one-on-one tackle out there, but a nice gain on first down for South Florida of 9 yards.
Jackson splits out wide right again. 3 receivers to the left. And empty backfield again for Grothe on second down at a yard. And he's going to keep it and turn it up. And he's going to get a first down across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. Very slow developing as he just waited for something to open up, trying to hide behind his offensive line.
Yeah, got the first down, and then I think realized he's going to get hit. And yeah, it was almost like a fake pass to the right, and then a designed quarterback draw to the left, almost a trap play. And Oregon had one defender out there was able to make the tackle, but first down South Florida at their own 33.
South Florida does kind of a muddle huddle, much like Oregon does. They huddle up a little bit, but don't go back in a full huddle. Here's first down and 10, and back to throw. Grothe sets with time down the middle again, and it's caught, and the ball comes loose, and it may not be a catch. We're going to call it incomplete.
That's the hit by Jarris Bird.
Wow.
That takes it from being a catch to an incompletion because a bone-jarring hit knocks that ball out right there at the last minute. A nice pass by Matt Grothe, right on the money. But again, that hit combination between he and one other player looked like they're Kwame Ajiman, and it's incomplete.
Brings up second down and 10 at the USF 33-yard line. Middle of the field. And Grothe with the back beside him from the shotgun. Ducks show blitz and back away from it. Here's the throw, the swing out to the back out of the backfield. A short gain, only a couple of yards to about the 35-yard line. And it almost looked like Grothe thought that he was going to get pressure up the middle.
Yeah, I think Oregon disguised that one well, Jerry, or it looked like the linebackers were trying to time that snap count. And then right when the ball was snapped, they backed right back out of it, and Grothe had already made up his mind to throw that little swing pass to his tailback. So it brings up 3rd and about 8 for South Florida from their own 35.
Grothe, ball right on the 35-yard line. 3rd and 8. Empty backfield again. 3 receivers to the wide right side of the field. And a snap and back to throw. He's got some time. A little pressure now. Runs to the right, looking downfield, and will unload it way downfield and out of bounds. That time on the run, he was trying to get it downfield to his wide receiver, Dontavia Bogan, and that ball just not very well thrown.
If you were ever going to throw a flag there, Jerry, Nick Reed comes in on the rush, and then it looks like Grothe breaks outside of him, and Nick Reed could not get pulled away from the guy because he was holding him so much. Goes incomplete, but I'll tell you, Nick Reed gave the referee an earful after that play, and he should have.
Here is Patrick Chung, I believe, deep at the 20. And Jarris Bird, thank you. Here's the punt. And Ducks again go for the block. Couldn't get it very high. Fair catch called for and taken right at the 13-yard line by Jarris Bird. And so Oregon defensively does the job on their first defensive series. And they'll get the ball back to start their first offensive series here with 13:02 remaining in this third quarter, and on top 18-14 over the Bulls. Back in a minute here on the Oregon Sports Network.
Talk 590 KUGN.
13:02 left here in the second half. We're in the third quarter, just underway in the second half, and Oregon defensively with a nice stop on the Bulls, and now we'll get their first opportunity with it, leading 18-14. Adjustments at halftime.
Well, yeah, it is. What South Florida is going to do to adjust Oregon's offense, because they didn't do a very good job of stopping the rush in the first half. Oregon ran for 202 yards. But, you know, what you want to see Oregon do a good job of again, and they did do a pretty good job other than Jeffrey Mail's fumble in that first initial series, take care of the ball, don't give South Florida short field to be able to score. So, you know, a little bit of dangerous territory here. 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line is where Oregon's going to start their first possession of the second half. But, you know, just play good, solid football, make good decisions, don't take chances, particularly when you're this deep in your own end.
That's Andre Crenshaw comes out way out to the left-hand side as a wide receiver, and Aaron Pflugrad in the game. And here's Roper, and going to hand it off first play, trying to find a little something up the middle, and not much there. Very short gain to the 20-yard line.
Jonathan Stewart. I think that was Drew Davis, actually, that come out to the
Drew Davis?
left. Yeah. So now you're going to see a lot more of Aaron Pflugrad in there, obviously, instead of Jeffrey Mail. And Pflugrad now healthy enough to be able to play, and he's going to be at that inside slot position.
Pflugrad will come out wide left. Pickup of only 2, second down and 8, and Pflugrad the wide out to the left-hand side. Roper sends him in motion back toward the formation. He'll come into the backfield, and he will back to throw. Off the play fake. Throw it deep downfield, going for Jay Will, too far. He was triple covered, but he had a step. If the ball is well thrown, he's got a chance for a grab, and that's one of those. Lob it up more, huh?
Give him a chance to run under it a little bit again. Even though it was into triple coverage, Jason Williams had gotten behind the safety, who's supposed to be the deepest guy on the field. And so they were trying to go deep to him. It wasn't that he was wide open, but he was running free, and you just got to put it up a little higher and let your man run under it.
3rd down and 8 at the 20-yard line of Oregon. And Roper with a snap back to throw the ball. Pressure comes. He throws. It is caught. Jay Will with a nice grab.
Wow.
At the 32-yard line.
Up high, all hands.
He reached up and snatched that ball out of the air.
And what I like about where Roper threw that too, Jerry, is it was thrown where only Jason Williams could get to it in a 3rd down situation. A lot of pressure, and yet he stood in there and threw it right on the money.
That's a confidence builder for a young quarterback.
Sure is.
Right there. Here's first down at the 32. Roper going to hand it off, and Jonathan's nailed back at the 30. He's going to lose, too, and South Florida, it looks like they have figured out a little bit of that Oregon running ball game.
Yeah, I mean, there was no cutback. There was no lane for Jonathan Stewart to go to there. So, running straight down that line of scrimmage. Loses 2. That tells you pretty much that there was nothing to cut up for. So it brings up 2nd and 12 for Oregon at their own 30-yard line.
Right hash mark going to our left here in the third quarter. 2 receivers to the left and 1 up to the right-hand side. And Roper sends him in motion all the way to the left-hand side.
Comes the blitz.
Here comes the blitz, handed off if they can break through. Jonathan just gets through the first wave, but not the second, and gets to the 33-yard line. Almost able to break it.
That's what you hope to see in a situation like that, Jerry, is I think it looks like now South Florida is saying, listen, we're going to put a lot of people at the line of scrimmage. I don't think they really did put that many people up along the line of scrimmage, right at the line of scrimmage in that first half. I think they sat back, thought they could play defense. Now they're up tight. Look at all the guys up tight.
They got 7 guys in the box, 8 guys in the box right now. As they back out, here's Roper to throw, looking downfield, taking a long time, and now going to run. Needs a block, goes outside, 40, going to near first down, and dives to the 45-yard line, and that is a first down. Well, I didn't know if he was going to decide to take off or not. He wanted to throw the ball, and he almost ran into a couple of guys in the backfield as they crossed.
Yeah, he wanted to throw that ball forever and ever, and some great protection in that backfield. But eventually got up the field, made the play that needed to be made, and got first down out to the 45.
J. Will comes out to the left, 2 receivers. Pflugrad one of those. Darren Strong the other to the right. And Jonathan get it quickly through the middle. Here he goes again. 40, cut it outside, needs a block. 20, down to the 15, and he'll go out of bounds to the 18-yard line. Unbelievable speed shown by Jonathan Stewart.
That burst up the field, and he just couldn't hesitate long enough. Looks like a South Florida player hurt in the middle of the field, but he couldn't hesitate long enough to get in behind Darren Strong and use him as a blocker. They kind of collided at about the 30-yard line, but still yet a great run by Jonathan Stewart. Clear down to the South Florida 14-yard line. 41-yard run.
Injured on the play is their free safety, and he's a good one. Nate Allen, 6'2", 200-pounder, 76 tackles, 4 interceptions on the year, and he is really hurting. Left leg, knee, or ankle, probably ankle. I don't think they'd have him walking that easily if it was a knee, so he's going to come out.
Boy, you could just see Darren Strong kicking himself there, too, thinking, if he's in no man's land.
Yeah.
I mean, you either need to speed up and get in front of him or slow down and let him get in front of you, one of the two. And instead, they ran into each other at about the 25 or 30-yard line. But nonetheless, another nice run by Jonathan Stewart. Now up to 187 yards on 16 carries in this game.
Right now, and there's any doubt about who the player of the game is if it continues to go the way it is. Oregon up by 4, 18-14. Here's first down, Oregon.
Crenshaw.
At the Ducks.
Crenshaw's in now.
14-yard line. And back to throw. Pump fake. Roper wants to throw down to the end zone, and he overthrew Jason Williams. And they're both hopping up and down, and they know it. Justin's hopping up and down, mad at himself, and Williams is hopping up and down going, oh, no.
But if you're Jason Williams and the leader, you got to go back to Justin Roper and pat him on the back and say, hey, hit me next time. Instead of putting your arms out and going, what the heck kind of pass was that? You got to support the young guy as an older guy on this team.
And Jay Will did not do that, by the way.
No, you want to see him do that. And
here's second down and 10 at the 14 of the Bulls. Roper waits for the stamp, got it. Play fake again, rolling right to throw toward the end zone. That time he hit him and got it. Jason Williams, touchdown. Great throw by Justin Roper. Veteran-looking quarterback on the field now for Oregon, although he's a redshirt freshman and only his second career start.
And that's where, if you're the veteran, you come to the young guy when he gets over to the sideline and you say, way to hang in there, buddy. You missed the first one when I was wide open. We came right back and we got it. That's what you need to do to be a leader in Jason Williams and boost a guy that needs it in Justin Roper up. That's a confidence builder there.
Evenson for the point after try. Good snap, placed good, a kick up, looks good, and it is. And with 10-17 remaining in this third quarter, Oregon has opened up a 25-14 lead over the University of Southern Florida. And we're back with more for the Sun Bowl in El Paso after this from Horizon Air.
It took many names. The Road of Regret, Heartache Highway. But for most business travelers once forced to drive the 200 miles between Seattle and Portland, it was known simply as the Slog. The longest 3-hour drive in American history. And then high above the potholes and pulp mills, 3-day-old corn dogs and third-world restroom conditions, a new path was cleared. It was called the Horizon Shuttle, and it freed these sloggers to fly between Seattle and Portland with the ease of a turbine-powered songbird. Flights departed every half an hour, planes grew larger, and with much lower fares, the automobile soon became no more than a covered wagon with cup holders. Watch a video tour of the Slog at horizonair.com/theslog, and take comfort in knowing that you shall never have to travel this way again.
Back in El Paso, Ducks on top 25-14. Duck football brought to you by Dodge. Your Northwest Dodge dealers. Grab life, grab a Dodge. That was an impressive drive.
Oh, it was, Jerry. 9 plays, 82 yards. Only 245 is what it took, but 9 plays, 82 yards is what the Ducks just went. The touchdown pass from Justin Roper to Jason Williams, who made a key third down catch over on the sideline on the Oregon bench to keep that drive alive. The even it's an extra point. And the Ducks lead 25-14 over South Florida with 10:17 left here in the third quarter. And it was Oregon's first possession of the second half, and it was a doozy, with a 41-yard run by Jonathan Stewart mixed in to those passes and some other things right now. As I said before, Jonathan Stewart right now 16 carries and 187 yards in this game, so looking very good. Roper, by the way, not too bad himself, 11 of 19, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. So this Oregon offense doing a nice job, and the defense, frankly, coming out first drive of the second half and stopping South Florida right off the bat to give their offense the opportunity to go down the field and score.
We kind of hope that for Oregon that was a statement drive for them, for themselves, as much as one to South Florida is to say, okay, here we are, good luck. Because we are as riled up to start the second half as we were to start the game. Here's the kickoff, driving it high and deep, and out of the back of the end zone, into the wind for Matt Evenson. And that's a heck of a kick.
Good for him.
So the Ducks will go back on defense, and Grothy will bring his team out. Kind of an important series for them right here. Because if they can't get anything generated here and they give the ball right back to Oregon and the Ducks go down and score, it really gives Oregon a huge advantage. So this drive right now for Oregon's defense, important as it is for South Florida's offense.
Certainly is.
Grothy, Ward beside him to his left. 3 receiver pattern, 2 right, 1 left from his own 20 back, and a quick throw out. Here's that little screen, and pretty good across the 25 to near the 29-yard line. And thinking he should have gotten more was Amari Jackson, but he'll get a good 8-yard run out of that after the catch.
Jarris Bird just made a really nice play there. Came flying up, kind of got blocked and tripped up, but was able to reach out and bat his leg just enough to make him stumble. I think that's why I thought he should have got more, but still, nice 8-yard gain on first down for South Florida.
Here is second down and 2. Again, 4 receiver pattern, and Grothy's going to throw on second and short. Rolls right and can run and knows it. He'll run for the first down and go out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. That's a smart play by Grothy, knowing all he needs is 2. Get the first down and go out of bounds. Don't take a hit.
Just take what they give you.
Oregon Sun Bowls, 1963. Len Casanova was the coach. Mike Bellotti in 99 and 2003, and again here in 2007. Grothy on first down from the 33, his own 33. 9:36 left in the third. A 25-14 Oregon lead. Here's reverse. And Oregon defended it pretty well. Ball comes loose, still loose, and I think the Ducks have it, and they do. The reverse defended pretty well by Oregon, and a late penalty flag after the play is dead. Oregon will keep the football, and we have a new record, and Oregon has an injured player down on the field. Ducks have a player down at the 35-yard line.
I should wonder if some taunting was going on down on the field. You know,
Nick Reed recovered the fumble. Here's the call.
After the fumble recovery, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 49 of the defense spiking the ball. It'll be Oregon's ball following a 15-yard penalty.
Well, I'd like to see that replay. I didn't notice him spike the ball. Jay, did you notice him spike that ball down there? Maybe he did.
I really didn't. I was too busy watching the celebration here on the Oregon sideline. But I think maybe it was Jeremy Gibbs involved in forcing that fumble.
Well, the Ducks are circled around their player down, and we can't see who it is.
I don't think Jeremy Gibbs was the one who basically tackled number 30, Benjamin Williams, who handed the ball off, and then he came back the other way. And I know Nick Reed, I can tell you this, Nick Reed has been very frustrated this second half, feeling that there's been some holding penalties and some various things that have not been called his way. So then to maybe come up with that fumble, that was his way of being able to show it. Yet you can't do that. If you did spike it, that's unsportsmanlike conduct, and it should be called. I didn't see him do it, but I was looking a different direction, too. So
Patrick Chung was the injured player, and he is up and coming off the field under his own power. And what was interesting was that Jarris Bird, Jerome Boyd, all of his mates back there, Matthew Harper, all surrounded him as he was down on the field, talking with him and helping him. They all stayed right with him. 15-yard penalty back to the 49-yard line. Here's first down. Empty backfield. Roper from under center. Throws it out. It's going to be a throw. No, they're going to run it. Could have been it. Oh, nice tackle at the 49. No gain as Ed Dixon goes down.
That's speed, I'll tell you, Jerry. That's 59. Ben Moffitt that flies out to the outside from his middle linebacker position to make that play on Dixon. But you and I could see from our angle it was a lateral on the first throw.
Yeah.
Looked like it was going to be a second throw, and instead it was just run up the side, but great play by the middle linebacker.
Roper was going under center that time. Now he's back in the shotgun. A no gain play back to the 49, second down and 10. Ducks at their own 49. And waiting for that snap, and here it is, and back to throw again. Roper throws, almost got hit. Catch made, first down to the 39-yard line. Is that Garen Strong?
It is.
Who reached up and grabbed that one out of the air. That was a nice throw and an equally nice grab.
Right when he let that ball go, too. He got nailed from the backside. Justin Roper did, but stepped up, delivered the ball right on the money to Garen Strong coming across the field for the first down to South Florida's 39, which is where they would have begun if they wouldn't have had the penalty, unsportsmanlike penalty. So Oregon now in business again.
First down, Roper. Motion man, Malachi with the left, and play fake to throw the ball. Looking left, throwing it downfield, going for Strong again, and he was running left, and as he threw it, the ball just sailed on him out of bounds. Didn't get a chance to really turn and square the shoulders, and so as he threw, coming across, it just went up on him.
Comes with time, Jerry. Comes with time. You start to learn that in those type of situations, and when you get into a game like this where you know there's athletes on the other side of the ball in South Florida, particularly George Selvey, you don't tend to set up quite as well to let that ball not drift on you running to your left. And there, Justin Roper just a little overpumped.
Ducks are a little, and they're going to have to call a timeout. Ducks were not in position to run the play as they had lined up wrong, and Roper notices it and calls timeout. So the Ducks' first timeout of the second half. 8:25 remaining in this third quarter. Oregon 25 and USF 14. We're back after this from State Farm Insurance.
He's your go-to receiver. You know how many catches he has so far, how many yards, and maybe even how often he'll take it all the way. It's how you feel about your team, and it's how we feel about car insurance. Here's our favorite stats. More people trust State Farm for car insurance than Geico and Allstate combined. And people who switch to State Farm save an average of $369 a year. Get a quote right now at statefarm.com or call any agent's office 24/7. State Farm, an official corporate partner of NCAA football. Annual savings based on survey of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
It's been said more than once that Oregon is a truly remarkable place to love sports. Some call this the birthplace of running. Olympic hopefuls train here. Snow and surf fans live here in paradise. We've got Autzen, we've got the pit. It's all here. Lucky us. At Oregon Community Credit Union, we've been helping people get out and enjoy life here for over 50 years. Talk about lucky. Oregon Community Credit Union. Nice. Remarkably nice.
Duck fans, we got a ball game. 8:25 remaining in this third quarter. And Oregon on top 25-14. We'll have it second down and 10 at the 39-yard line. Duck football brought to you by Providence Health and Services and the new Providence Cancer Center, opening early 2008 on the campus of Providence Portland Medical Center. Oregon, had it not been for the penalties in the first half, guys, really would have controlled this ball game probably by 2, if not 3 scores.
Well, I mean, they've been in perfect position to really take complete advantage of things, and they're starting to settle down and play pretty well as it is, Jerry. Right now, 2nd and 10 at the South Florida 39. If they can convert here, they've really got the momentum.
Roper ready, 3 receivers left, 1 right back to throw the ball. Dumps a little screen to Jonathan. Had to go high, but he's got it. 30-yard line. Go outside. He's got a block 20. Lowers the head down to the 18-yard line and out of bounds. Well, the ball was thrown high, but he had presence of mind to turn up and jump and catch it and then turn and see if he had running room, and he did.
And there was only one guy there for South Florida to be able to defend it, and he was being blocked, basically. So Stewart had a blocker and open field to run, which is a dangerous combination for South Florida. Oregon now 1st and 10 at the South Florida 18.
Roper from the shotgun again. Play fake, pump fake, wants to throw to the end zone. Throws underthrown. He tried to get it out to the right-hand flat. Jonathan had come out of the backfield, and he was open, and he just underthrew him.
Actually, Crenshaw's who came out of the backfield back there.
It is number 22, Crenshaw.
And I'll tell you, he just had him wide open and tried to throw a bullet to him, which was the right pass in that situation, but threw it about 3 yards short and just short-hopped him. Too bad.
I think he realized how open he was and just got
short arm.
Yeah, it's 2nd down and 10. Roper from the shotgun again, and we'll hand it off. There's a nice little hole and a crease inside to the 15-yard line. Almost more. It looked like there was a nice crease opened up by the offensive line on the left-hand side, but speed of the Bulls closed it down in a hurry.
Well, if Alan Cray, number 94, isn't able to get him around the ankles, they have brought 9 people up on the line of scrimmage in a straight line. So all you got to do is break that straight line. It's off to the races.
Here they are again, same formation, back to throw. Roper looks back, dumps it over the middle. It's caught. Going to be Ed Dixon. Going to be touchdown, Oregon. Ed Dixon just hung around a little bit, drifted over the middle. And the big rush that came in, and Jory, you said on the run, once you get by that first wave, there's nobody there.
Well, you get everybody, Jerry, on that particular play going with the flow. Justin Roper takes the snap and rolls out to his right. Well, as a defense and as a player, you're going to kind of go with the flow. Ed Dixon going against the flow the other direction. All of a sudden, it's, a guy going with full momentum. You got to start from the get-go. He'd beaten him outside. Roper put it on the money for the touchdown.
Extra point kick on the way up, and good. And with 7:35 remaining in this third quarter, it's now Oregon 32 and USF 14. Back in a minute here along the Oregon Sports Network.
Eugene, and then drive his car back.
Yeah. Here's Evenson to kick it off again. We'll get you the drive in a moment after the turnover. Oregon takes advantage of it, by the way. And here is deep, Doris Johnson, along with Jerome Murphy. This kickoff, line drive, deep again, back of the end zone and out. Well, this time, blow the whistle. I mean, stop blocking down there, guys. It's all over. This game, we're seeing Matt Evenson drive the ball more on kickoffs instead of going high with it. And he's been driving it out of the end zone.
Yeah, into a little bit of a breeze. It looks like maybe that breeze has calmed down a little bit. And, as Jay Allen said down on the sideline down there, it's a real gentle breeze on the sideline, maybe up a little bit higher. So if you drive that ball and keep it low, it takes that wind effect away. So Matt Grothe going back to work right here, down by 18.
Here's Grothe again on first down at his own 20-yard line. Oregon defensively has been very good in the second half so far. Grothe with a snap and back to throw. Pressure comes, throws, and it is intercepted. It may be a Thurman touchdown. It is! Walter Thurman! Touchdown, Oregon! Pressure on Grothe made him throw the ball right in the face of a Duck. And is that David Fatente hopping up, or is that Wilton Kwafu?
Boy, did he jump that route.
Oh, my.
I mean, he had no business, Grothe, having to throw that ball. And, Jerry, I think you're right. He didn't have a chance to really make a decision, but he threw that thing into a crowd. Walter Thurman on the outside. I couldn't tell who the defender was on the inside, but he jumped it, caught it almost like earlier in the game had an opportunity to. This time catches it, takes it back to the house for the touchdown, and Oregon's an extra point away from 39-14, and there it is.
7:25 left in the third quarter, and Oregon has broken it open to 39-14 over USF's Bulls here in the Sun Bowl. Timeout on the field. We're back after this from Napa Auto Parts.
Your News Talk 590 KUGN, Eugene, Springfield.
Evenson tees it up again. Didn't I just say that a moment ago? And we'll kick it off. Doris Johnson deep. There's this kick. This one higher. This might have a chance. I don't know. Nope, it's going to go deep enough in the end zone. Jackson's going to look to the sideline. Or Johnson rather and say, nope, too deep. We'll bring it out to the 20. Well, we never got the drive on the first series. And then the last one was so quick, we didn't get a chance to really do it justice. But Oregon, after that turnover, really did a nice job of turning the turnover into a touchdown, even after the personal foul. So a fumble recovery for a touchdown, and now an interception for a touchdown, and Oregon's broken it up to 39-14. And what are you looking at?
Well, there was a player, Lucas Dar, number 52, came off the field for South Florida, Jerry, and he looked like he either got hit in the head. I just kind of saw the end of it. He was kind of stumbling in almost kind of a funny circle, like he didn't know where he was, and they're down there talking to him down by the parabolic on the 20.
Yeah. Here's the snap in. Growth. He's going to throw the ball on first down. Pressure hit. He is going to get away. Run to the 15. Hit again and taken down and loses the ball, but I think the grounder did it. The referee is not indicated, but he recovered the fumble anyway. And Oregon's defense is just forming. On the previous throw by Grothe that was intercepted, it was Jeremy Gibbs who was in his face and who had pressured him, and that was Gibbs again putting the pressure on.
Well, his ability to make the escape there was amazing, but Oregon continued to pursue. This time learned their lesson. Don't give up on the play. You better stay after him, and they made even a bigger sack back to the 12.
And we'll bring up second down and 18. Grothe from the shotgun. End zone right behind him. As he's ready and waits for the snap. And got it, straight drop to throw. Ducks come with pressure. Here's the throw over the middle. It's caught and down immediately at the 22-yard line. That's a nice grab and surprising to see back in the ball game, A.J. Love. He went out looking badly about...
Wasn't that Nate Allen, though, the free safety, I think, of the same number 5. They waved.
Oh, that's right. You're right. It was on the defensive side.
Some duplicate numbers.
Get an update defensively for Oregon with a player that may be out now coming up in a moment. As Grothe goes on third down and 9 from his own 21-yard line. Looks over the defense. Oregon shows maybe they're going to come. Let's see if they do. Don't back away from it. He steps up. Grothe still looking. Now he's going to have to run to the left-hand side, looking downfield. And will launch it downfield. And it is going to be intercepted. Oregon's got it. Jarris Bird at the 40. To the 50 down. He'll go to the 49. Bird just waits and waits, and it's just a jump ball. Who can out-jump who? And he out-jumped.
Well, I think what Oregon is showing very quickly here today, Jerry, is you have the ballyhooed corners of South Florida, and everybody forgets about what Jarris Bird and Walter Thurmond have to play against week in and week out in the Pac-10 Conference.
A great point.
They play great receivers in a passing offense, and so they've really owned these receivers for South Florida, particularly down deep on the field. So Oregon now leading 39-14, takes over on their own 49 after the Bird interception, 1st and 10.
Thurmond had tied Bird for his 5th interception. Now Bird makes it 6 on the year. Here's Roper to throw. Pressure comes, almost loses it, and penalty flags are down as he gets rid of the football.
Was it a hold, or did they get his face mask?
Well, I don't know.
Haven't seen many flags here lately, but...
Here's the call.
Big pass, 5-yard penalty. Number 27, penalized from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
I thought his head spun around.
By the way, Tyrone McKenzie, number 27, leading tackler for the South Florida defense, is a double transfer. I don't know how many people would think about that, but he originally went to Michigan State as a freshman out of the state of Florida, high school player, transferred from Michigan State to Iowa State, and then transferred from Iowa State to South Florida. So he's played for 3 schools.
Here's 1st and 5 at the Florida 46. Hand the ball up the middle. Here's a first down, diving to the 41-yard line. Jonathan Stewart, and it will be first down Oregon with 5:33 left here in the third quarter, and 39-14. And Oregon, will they score here? Yeah, you don't want to say this is early in the football game, but is on the verge of almost putting a nail in the coffin here. I know it's awfully early, but they are owning South Florida here in the second half. Roper on first down at the 41. Snap and handoff. Big hole again. Jonathan inside 30, down to the 25-yard line. And he's going to go well over 200 yards rushing today, Jonathan Stewart. And it's first down Oregon all the way down at the 21-yard line. And you don't hear much noise out there from the Oregon fans on the far side, but I can see them cheering. The band's playing. These Duck fans are excited. Here is Roper. Back to throw, off the play fake, throws it down wide open and caught inside of the 5, bumped out of bounds. Aaron Pflugrad almost got it in. He'll go to the 1, and they'll mark it out there.
Hate to see it again. That ball get reached out, and with the possibility of fumbling that through the end zone, Pflugrad got to the 1, tried to reach the ball out, got hit, and the ball also went out of bounds at the 1-yard line. But another nice play there for Roper and the Oregon offense right now against a pretty demoralized defense, it looks like, out there in South Florida.
Well, they really struggle, aren't they? Here is Roper on first and goal from the 1-yard line. Empty backfield for Roper. Now coming back into the backfield beside him is Jonathan Stewart. He's probably going to get the ball. Ball is fumbled, diving on it. Back at the 8-yard line is Roper.
Another good snap, too. That's the thing about it, is there's been 2 of those snaps today that have been good snaps. 2 of those snaps that have been good snaps, and yet he's dropped them each time, especially in a goal situation. You know, first and goal at the 2 or 3 yard line. First and goal at the 2 or 3 yard line, and all of a sudden they're second and goal at the 7-yard line. So hate to see him drop balls like that.
Second down and goal from the 7. Roper. Crenshaw in motion, or rather Valentine in motion, and Roper's going to roll left and can run. Needs a block. Now throws it into the end zone. He threw it behind his intended receiver. I thought he was going to run it in. He had him open. He had Jones wide open.
Had Derek Jones wide open. And by the way, I think this is a new rushing record by Jonathan Stewart for the Sun Bowl. Looked like the old record was by Charles Alexander of LSU against Stanford in 1977. 197 yards right now. Jonathan Stewart, 18 carries, 209 yards, and a touchdown. So he set a new record here at the Sun Bowl.
Here's third down and goal from the 7. Roper back to throw with time. Throws over middle. Jonathan going to go outside. He'll walk it in. Jonathan Stewart, a little dump pass over the middle, and then he just cuts it out left and walks it into the end zone. And Oregon has tacked on another 6 points with 4:05 remaining. And we may have a flag down. They're not indicating. Now the officials show touchdown.
Yeah.
Why would it not be?
Offsides on the defense.
Here's the call.
Offside. Defense. Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
I don't see a flag anywhere down there. We never did see one, but that was the call offsides. And with 4:05 left in the third quarter, 45-14. And an extra point try coming up. Evenson with the kick. We've still got a whole quarter and 4 minutes to go. Here's the kick up, easily up and through by Evenson. And with 4:05 left, Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield tips for the trainer. Here's the approach to the ball. Evenson drives this one deep again. And this one's going out of the backside of the end zone, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line.
We're not even giving him an opportunity.
No. Jay Allen down to the sideline. Jay, we never really gave you a chance to talk about Patrick Chung. He went out limping And we thought he might come back, but what's the latest on Pat?
Yeah, it was his left knee, and they came over. Kevin Stile, the head trainer over here, did a pretty good tape job. They put a brace on it, and he was going to try to go back in, but he walked around just too much pain, and we're not sure exactly the extent of that injury. Right now, they're just calling it a knee tweak, so hopefully it's nothing serious, but it looks like Patrick is done for the game.
All right, thanks, Jay. Here's first down, Grothy from his own 20-yard line, and they got to start throwing the ball on deep. Back to throw the ball, sets up, pressure comes, runs away from it, runs to the right, throws it out of bounds. Incomplete. And this is a defense's dream when you got your offense on top 46-14, and you know your opponent has got to throw that ball. You just, as you've heard it said many times before games, you pin your ears back and you come hard.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, that's what Oregon's going to do right now. They're going to play very deep with 4 defensive backs. You try to keep everything in front of them. Make South Florida have to go on a 10 or 12 play drive if they're going to score.
Grothy on second down, waits for, has the snap, back to throw again. Pressure comes, going to run out of it and run. Will get hit and dragged down across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. And he was very near taking a very hard shot from Kwame Ojiman. Yeah. Ojiman was coming up and going to pop him hard, and he got pulled out of Ojiman's way.
But there's the speed of Brandon Bear to close on Grothy. I mean, most of the Oregon defensive line really haven't had a chance to track him down, but Brandon Bear in a defensive end was able to run him down and make the tackle.
Third down and 4 from the 26-yard line for Grothy. Empty backfield again, and the snap and back to throw, throws it out, and it is caught and tackled immediately for a loss back at the 24-yard line. Is a wide receiver, and I don't know if he knows who hit him yet. Cedric Hill, actually the tight end, had drifted off the left-hand side, and he just got stuffed.
Walter Thurman just jumped flat like he was in the huddle. You thought he was in the huddle and knew what the play was.
I mean, that pass was 4 or 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and Walter was right there when it was coming.
I think Jay Allen might have felt the jar of that tackle down here.
Here is the punt coming up from Alvarado again, from about his own 15 when he gets his foot into the ball. Oregon's been close several times blocking these, but have not got there, and this one is not going to be blocked. Low wobbly kick this time, taken and dove on right. Ooh, at the 39-yard line, and South Florida had 2 players hit each other, and they are both getting up. Not up yet, and we'll be up for the 8 count, and both are going to come off limping. Wow, that was close to being a serious injury for one of those guys, because they sold out to hit Chung, and he dove under them after he made the catch, and they hit each other. Down on the field, Jay Allen once again.
Yeah, a little bit more on Patrick Chung. They're now calling it a sprained MCL in that left knee. They don't think it's any more serious than that, but they'll reevaluate him when they get back to Eugene. But for now, a sprained MCL in Patrick Chung's left knee.
Yeah, fortunately, it doesn't look like they need him right now. They're doing a job. Here's Roper. Crenshaw and Moshe joins him in the backfield. High snap, and it'll be Crenshaw who gets the ball going right now. Cut it back up, nothing there. He'll get a yard, maybe 2. As he gets it close to the 40-yard line, line of scrimmage being the 38.
A lot of records falling here today, Jerry, not only with the penalties that we mentioned earlier, but also Jonathan Stewart setting the single-game rushing record here. And right now, Justin Roper has tied the touchdown pass mark set last year by Matt Moore from Oregon State. So not a bad job for the redshirt freshman, 4 touchdown passes.
2 minutes left, third quarter. Roper on 2nd and 8. Hands it off. Jonathan got it. Going to go outside. Almost breaks it. Goes across the 45 to the 48. He's going to be close to the first down. And mark him at the 47, a yard short.
That was close to going 60 yards just like that. One player to defend him out there with a blocker on him. And Jonathan just couldn't bounce it outside quick enough to get on by him. The defender did a nice job of tying up the blocker, not giving the ground, and then forcing Jonathan outside.
46-14 Oregon lead. Here's Roper with the ball. Hand it to Jonathan again. There he is, a whole first down as he powers his way over the 50 down to the 47 of South Florida.
That was Ryan Gilliam that had to come up and tackle him.
Oh, that was Ryan Gilliam. That's the first time we've called. Gilliam says, bring me out. Did he have a collision? He's coming out.
I mean, Jerry, if you're a defensive back with Stewart coming up the line, if you're not committed, you're in trouble. You know what I mean? If you're not committed to make the tackle, you're in trouble.
High snap, handed off. Jonathan starts inside, goes outside. Is going to get hit and drop for a loss that time. Back to the 48-yard line. He'll lose a yard. Florida selling out going right. And they were there. And South Florida has another player down. And Oregon has just punished this University of South Florida football team today.
Boy, and I guess the question of the day for me, too, is where is George Selvey? The consensus All-American has been absolutely no factor in anything here today. Comes back on the field, but he hasn't been a factor. We haven't seen him do anything.
Rolling over and trying to get up. Big defensive lineman. He's going to get up and come off under his own power. Boy, that's a big guy out there. And it's good to see him making moves. Richard Clabert, 6'1", 312, a senior, comes out of the ball game. And Oregon is just smacking people. I mean, just hitting people. In South Florida, I don't think they really were prepared for a Pac-10 football team. They heard so much about their own speed they didn't realize. Here's second down, and Roper to throw the ball. Looks downfield. Now we'll run away from trouble. Penalty flag down and underthrows Aaron Pflugrad, and we're probably going to get a hold on Oregon.
Yeah, Dixon, I guess, he's the only guy I could think of that was in the area.
Yeah, that's a good call, too, because I think the Ducks were guilty of holding that time, no doubt.
That'll be the 13th penalty for 133 yards in this game.
That's another new record, by the way.
Holding, number 83. Penalty is declined. The third down.
So it'll be third down. They declined the penalty. Instead of making it second down and 22, they want third down and 12. With 40 seconds left here in the third quarter, it'll be third and 12 Oregon at the South Florida 49-yard line. From the gun, Roper with a snap, back to throw, going to give on the delay and up the middle, and not going to get the first down, but take it inside of the 42. And Crenshaw, you don't want to punt the ball here, but they're going to bring the punt team on.
I think, to give up field position at the 41 or 42-yard line. No man's land to me is the 34 or 35, maybe, although the way that Oregon has been kicking the ball that direction and that type of deal, Evenson could probably hit it from 60, but might as well punt it away, pin them deep. This is going to be the end of the third quarter anyway.
Let's see, as the 4 seconds through, they're probably going to let the clock run down and swap ends of the field. And that's exactly what they'll do. That'll be the end of 3. We've played 3 quarters here at the Sun Bowl, the Brute Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas, and Oregon with a 46-14 lead over the University of South Florida. Fourth quarter coming up after this from Weimar. 6 weeks. And it's been fun to be a part of all of it. And what a great show this has been by this football team. And we talked today at the hotel before we left about how important it was for Oregon to not just show up well in this game, Jay, but to win. Mike Bellotti and his staff, and Oregon needed bowl wins, not just good performances.
Yeah, and they wanted to snap that 4-bowl losing streak, and they're obviously going to do that today. So I mean, this score holds up, which we think it will. But also one thing that we didn't see last year down in Vegas was the intensity from the Ducks, and we've seen that and more today. I mean, they have just pummeled South Florida, and Oregon has dominated really in every facet of the game.
Yeah, they really have. Here's Grothe at quarterback. Thought they might make a change, but still too much of the game to go. Who else would they go to? Grothe from his own 20-yard line. About a half of the field in shadow now. They're in the sunshine end of it down to our right. Snap from center, and he's going to run it. Going to turn it up and get hit from behind and then tackled from the front side and drag down the 23. Short gain on the run. He had such a deep drop, he had to run a long way just to get to the line of scrimmage.
He's taken some shots.
Boy, has he. He really has. I still am very impressed with the young man. He just hasn't had much help from the rest of his team today. And did he go down?
He did. He took a shot from Kwame Ajman at the end of that play, Jerry, that I didn't think he was going to get up. And he probably shouldn't have got up. And so now his backup is going to come in. That's Grant Gregory, number 15.
Well, Gregory has not played much at all this year. He is 11 of 19, 241 yards. He does have 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. 6'1", 205, a junior. And Grothe stays down on his back at the 15-yard line. Duck football and basketball brought to you by Comcast and the Comcast Bundle. And I've got all three and can't imagine being without them. TV, internet, and phone, that's Comcastic. You can get them too. Call 1-800-COMCAST and enjoy the new year with Comcast.
Yeah, I mean, he got tackled from both the right and left side. But as he started to go down, Kwame Ajuman was able to come straight on and head on at him, was able to really give him a lick. And, you know, he kind of laid there on the field for a second and got up, and he acted like he didn't know really where he was, Jerry. And then he went right back down and hasn't moved a whole lot since then. So, you know, you hate to see that happen to anybody. And by the way, in that third quarter, Jerry, Oregon 200 yards of total offense to 38 for South Florida. Obviously, that's going to lead to a 21-0 scoring burst that Oregon had in that quarter, but 200 to 38, so the defense really took over in that quarter. And obviously the offense did too, because they had 276 at halftime and had 476 at the end of the quarter. So,
well, we talked about halftime adjustments. What team would make what adjustment? You know, what do they talk about? What are they going to do? And, you know, also, and I threw into the mix, and we are serious about it as well, the officials. You know, what adjustments do they make at halftime? Have the teams really played much better football and more error-free football in the second half? They might have. Or did the officials decide to maybe back off and let them play a little bit more? We'll never get a chance to know that because we'll never have a chance to talk to the officials. But I'd be very curious about that, because the first half, record-setting in penalties. Second half, not nearly as many. Grothy has come off walking under his own power, but with help. As they're going to get him up on the training table down below and have him sit down or maybe even lay down. Wow. He took a shot. Here's Grant Gregory Jr. at quarterback from the shotgun. Empty backfield now as he waits for the snap on second down and 6. Back to throw the ball. With time, lots of time, throws it over the middle. It is caught, and it's going to be just enough for the first down if they give him the 30, and they do. Boy, a horse collar tackle on, I think, Amari Jackson. No, not going to be Jackson. It's going to be Jesse Hester Jr., and he says, take me out. He got rung down pretty hard. He's going to come out. And he's a little bit wobbly as well.
Yeah, I got his leg I think he had his helmet kind of come loose, a piece of it. The guy's leg kind of underneath there, it was real dangerous. Empty backfield.
Empty backfield again. Got to kind of get receivers out there. You're way down 46-14. Back to throw again. Gregory tipped in the air and intercepted at the 44-yard line of South Florida. And two guys tipped it, and Jarris Bird is going to have another interception. For Jarris Bird, that will be his 7th pick of the year.
Well, what a heads-up play, and you're right, Jerry. Got tipped twice. The second one looked like number 2 for Oregon, T.J. Ward, tipped it just long enough to keep it hanging in the air, and Jarris Bird broke on it, dove underneath it, and made the interception. What a great interception by Jarris Bird. So Oregon's offense takes over 1st and 10 after the interception at the South Florida 46-yard line.
Gregory, a short stint on the field, and Jay Allen pointed out his father may be the offensive coordinator, and he is indeed the offensive coordinator. Here's Justin Roper going to hand the ball off. Jonathan's going to go right, trying to get the corner, gets a little bit of it, 40, and it goes out of bounds wisely up at the 33-yard line of USF. Stops the clock for 13:39 remaining. And I don't know, has he got a chance to hit 300 yards?
So what type of a conversation would you have with your son when he came over to the sideline after that interception? You know, I mean, you've never had to do it before.
Oh, no. Well,
because Grothy's been the man.
Yeah. Here's first down at the 33. And Roper from the shotgun again. Waits and will hand it off again. Jonathan going right. Here he goes. He's going to go to the 20 and pushed out of bounds. Not even running hard as he realizes he's got the first down and he's got a man right in his face. Lets him push him out at the 15-yard line. It'll be first down Oregon. AT&T, the official wireless provider of University of Oregon Athletics and Duck Football, brought to you by Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield. Together, we can take charge.
Son, didn't your mom tell you not to throw the ball into a crowd? That's what I'd be saying. Son, your mom said.
Here's Roper. On first down, high snap, but he brings it down. A little mix-up, give it to Crenshaw, who's going to find a little running room, and stutter steps his way inside of the 15 to about the 13-yard line. That ball was snapped very high, and Roper had to go up high to grab it.
I think Roper was going to just go ahead and follow Crenshaw into the pile, and I'll tell you, that probably should have been a penalty there on South Florida and what they were doing in the extra activities in that pile. Crenshaw's now got to come off. Got his helmet yanked off, but it was one of those ones where Roper was just going to follow him in there, and Crenshaw said, "Here, give it to me, give it to me."
Yeah, really. Remini Alston in that tailback now beside Roper. As Roper waits for the snap on the second down and back to throw the ball. Play fake. A nice little fake and will underhand scoop the pass out of bounds. It'll be an incomplete pass. It's a pretty heads-up play by Roper, but I think he surprised his receiver, too. Is that Ed Dixon over there? Malachi Lewis. Malachi Lewis looked up and said, "How in the world did you...
What are you flipping that to me for?"
Yeah, really.
Well, Oregon's used that play 2 or 3 times, a couple of them for touchdowns, obviously, to Jason Williams and Garen Strong with a play action one-way inside, sprint out to the left with the receiver sprinting across the field, but this time South Florida was not fooled, and so Roper had to kind of hold on to it, try to improvise.
All right, kind of way out to the right. Here's Roper to throw, rolling right, throws it back to the other way, and Dixon's not going to get far this time as he'll go down about the 13-yard line. It'll bring up 4th down. Little misdirection. They tried to run right, throw back to the left, and South Florida ready to pick it up.
Well, if Oregon can make this field goal, it'll set
oh, my gosh.
Well, actually 46-14.
South Florida had a lineman coming off the field. He was a good 15 to 20 yards away from the play, and he just collapsed at the 18-yard line. I just watched him collapse face down.
Boy, there's been a lot of South Florida players hurt in this game. And a lot of, Jerry, a lot of guys, as I said, earlier when I was watching in the first half at the other end after a kickoff, and it was a kickoff where Oregon had kicked it out of the end zone, and I look down and I see a South Florida player coming off the field almost like he had no idea where he was or how to walk. It was just kind of stumbling off in that type of deal, and there must be a lot of hard hitting going on down there.
He rolled him over onto his back, and that's a good sign. That means it is not a neck injury. If it would have been anything indication at all that it was a neck, they would not have moved him. They rolled him over onto his back. Big defensive lineman, and he I don't know if he was involved in the tackle of the play, but he ran about 15 yards toward the sideline and then just went down in a ton of bricks. And they are talking with him now. Duck football is brought to you today by Burger King, open now until midnight or later at participating locations. Well, it has been a hard-hitting game. How hard-hitting? Well, let's give you an idea as we bring you straight from the sidelines. AT&T proud to bring you the real sounds of the game. AT&T, your world delivered. Here we go. Somebody yell, "Hoo-yeah," get your head down. There's some popping going on, and coming off very slowly and with help, and obviously very wobbly, is a defensive lineman. Big number 84, looks like, although I don't see an 84, that might be 94. It is Alan Craig, number 94, 6 speed even, 266, and a senior. And while I'm looking down, Oregon comes in and kicks the field goal. And I'm more concerned with the player for South Florida than I was the play going on the field. But the field goal good by Evenson, and it is now, with 12:14 remaining, a 52-14 game. Although they haven't put up the points, it was good, wasn't it? No, it is 49. Your was 46. Okay, I'm still looking down on the South Florida bench trying to see what they're doing. All right, let's take the break. Let me gather myself here. 12:14 remaining here in this football game. It's Oregon 49 and USF 14. Back after this from Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
12:14 remaining in the fourth quarter. A 49-14 Oregon lead after Evenson hits a 30-yard field goal.
By the way, there's only been 2 penalties here in the second half.
Oh, no, wait a minute. 18 in the first half, only 2 in the second half?
Well, right now we got a total of 20 between the two teams. So.
Okay. Jay Allen's
2 penalties.
Jay Allen's explanation was that the penalty flags were so threadbare they had to leave them in the locker room at halftime because they couldn't use them anymore. And you thought it was rotator cuff problems on the officials, so they couldn't throw them anymore.
Throwing too many.
Don't tell me that that's all the players suddenly being nice.
Oh, it's like a 150-pitch game by a major leaguer.
Yeah, there's no more holding going on. And here's a kick very high and going to go way back into the end zone. And will not come out. It'll come out to the 20-yard line after the touchback. They've had, if I remember right, they had 1 kick return, but that may not be accurate.
Yeah, I think 1.
Just 1.
Just 1. Other than that, Evenson has sailed that ball a long ways. Now, also remember, even though we're not a mile high here, we're 4,000 footish. So the ball is going to go ahead and travel a little bit further in the altitude, and it does have an effect. I mean,
4,000 footish?
Footish?
No, footish.
Footish.
Footish works for me. First down at the 20. Here's Gregory. And going to hand it off, and just stuffed for a loss back at about the 18-yard line. They'll mark him forward to the 19-yard line.
And some problems.
Yes, Mike Ford. Oh. Voice is starting to get on the thin edge here. I got to hold on. I got a couple of basketball games to do. 11:55 left. 11:55.
I know. Kentucky, by the way, leading Florida State 14-7 midway through the second quarter. I thought they'd be a lot further ahead of Florida State right now, who has about 55 players total on their program. That's amazing.
Yeah, the stands here are emptied out and have emptied out. Here's Gregory back to throw on second and low. Ball knocked up into the air and incomplete. Brandon Bear in there again. And I'll tell you what, it's not too early to start talking about spring ball and next year, guys. Not too early at all, because a lot of this football team is coming back. Now, certainly you don't know whether Jonathan Stewart will come back or not. That decision has not been made, and he just would not talk about it at all. But we'll know very soon. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if after the game maybe some clues were given if something slips out. But here's third down and 10, basically. Gregory back to throw again. Steps up. Now will run a little bit, and he's going to decide to take off, and he will just get the first down. Nice run, by Gregory. Tucks it under and goes right up the field for 11 yards to the 31-yard line, and South Florida fans cheer. But this stadium, a lot of the locals have left. A lot of the local fans who are here have gone, mostly South Florida fans and Oregon fans across the way. And the Duck fans have been treated to a great ball game here. Gregory on first down at his own 31. On the shotgun, back to throw again. Throws the ball out. It's caught and tackled out of bounds over at about the 34, though he stayed inbounds, so keep the clock moving. Thank you. Well, 10:53 remaining. 49-14. And yeah, Jay Allen, we're going to see a lot of other Oregon Ducks get in this football game now.
Yeah, that was number 2, T.J. Ward, into the ball game, making a nice tackle there along the sideline. Nice to see some guys get some playing time in a bowl game, too.
Well, T.J. Ward's been playing quite a bit, though. I think where you're going to start seeing guys playing a lot more is along the defensive line.
Offensive line?
Yep.
Here's Gregory again on second down at about 7. Back to throw again in the shadows and running right. Going to decide to run it. He's going to get a lot of yards. First down, and turns in and takes a hit at the 45 of Oregon and down. Now, he's not afraid to tuck it under and run. And he looks pretty good doing it, too.
Well, T.J. Ward came on the blitz from the outside there, and what he did basically was overrun the play. He wasn't coming on a full aggressive blitz. He was coming kind of on about a three-quarter one where they want him to come and seal the quarterback in the pocket, let it kind of close around him versus commit and clear up the field. And the quarterback just cut up inside Gregory and inside of where T.J. Ward was supposed to be.
It looks dark on the field. Here's Gregory to throw, and he's going to run, and this time he's not going to get it there, and it'll be a loss of a couple of yards back to the 46. The sun is so bright on the far side of the field. I mean, just glaringly bright. The field's in shadow, and it looks dark on the field.
Yeah, it is real dark.
It's really dark out there.
Well, you take a look at this, and some of the guys you're seeing and playing a lot more right now, Kenny Rowe, even though most of the starting defense is in there right now. Again, T.J. Ward taking Patrick Chung's place. That's why he's been in there so much.
Second down and 12 after the 2-yard loss on a run by Gregory, and he's going to go back and throw, rolling to his left. Sets up, throws it way downfield, and a penalty flag is going to be called against Jarris Byrd. They're going to say that Byrd tripped. Now, it was one-on-one coverage, and it was Dontavia Bogan who fell down or went down, and I think Byrd tripped him. I don't know if it was on purpose, probably more inadvertent, but they're going to call it a pass interference call, and that'll give South Florida first down.
Pass interference. Defense penalized 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, they don't name the player, but it was Jarris Byrd who was hooked up with the one man he was guarding. Let's go downstairs on the field. Jay Allen's got to be pretty happy right now.
Yeah, I'm here with one of my favorite guys on the team, I'm happy to say, a senior, Brian Paceker, who missed a portion of the season but is here helping out on the sideline. And Pace, good to see you as always. Boy, how about this performance by your teammates today?
I'm very proud of them. I mean, this is the last game that I'm ever going to be a part of this program. And, I mean, they're putting on a great game for us. The seniors are very proud of them. The whole team, the coaching staff, everybody's proud of them. I mean, it's just been a great week of preparation. It's been cold out here, you know what I'm saying, but we make the most of it. And, you know, luckily we're getting out of here with a win.
How do you feel? You mentioned it's your last game you're going to be a part of. That's got to be kind of bittersweet for you, huh?
Yeah, it's really emotional, you know what I'm saying, but I'm hoping that I get the rehab going and get the invitation, you know, to the combine and all that. And hopefully everything will work out. And, yeah, I just got to keep working hard and pushing through.
All right, hey, we enjoyed watching you over your career here at Oregon, and best of luck to you with the rehab and beyond, all right?
Thank you very much.
All right, Brian Paceker down with us live here on the sideline. Jerry, back up to you.
Yeah, he is something else, and it was so sad that he was not able to complete his career here at Oregon. What a great young man. During that interview, a run for about 4 yards, and now an incomplete pass deep in the back of the end zone by Gregory, and it'll bring up third down at about 4 for the Bulls with 8:28 left, and they trail 49-14.
Now, again, some of the guys you're seeing out there, Michael Speed, a defensive end, playing right now. It also looks like Tonio Soleto is in the defensive line out there, as well as, you know, Cole Linehan, who's been in and out all game long, but a lot of new bodies out there along the defensive line.
Gregory on third down and 4, back to throw again with a lot of time, throws it, and it's caught going down at the 20. Oh, incomplete. Skips it off the turf. It'll be incomplete. And it'll be fourth down, and I don't think you're going to see a field goal try here. I don't think head coach Jim Levitt, who was fairly animated in the first half of this football game on the sideline, but has calmed down quite a bit.
Yeah, has calmed down quite a bit. I mean, he was really getting into it the first half, frankly, doing a little bit of jawing with A.J. Tuatelli and other players. And you don't like to see coaches doing that with opposing team players and getting that far into it. And but obviously the air is out of the sails with the way Oregon's played.
Gregory's going to have to be careful here and not throw a pick. He's got 4th and 4. You know he's going to throw this ball unless he decides to tuck it and run. And he's going to call timeout. He had a formation. Somebody had a place. He didn't like it. He had to call timeout. So the Bulls will burn one of their 3. And they'll have 2 remaining with 8:22 left here in this football game. And Oregon leading 49-14. And what a dominating performance. Jay Allen's down on the sideline with, well, you got to say, a very successful athletic director. He'll be 1-0 in bowls as the head of the athletic department, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Actually, Pat Kilkenny's posing for a picture right now with one of the Sun Bowl officials. And Pat, if I could get a quick moment, how about this performance? You know, I think we were all hoping and thinking the Ducks would win this game, but it's been a dominating effort, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's really hard to imagine that, you know, it's been a tale of 2 seasons, but you really have to take your hats off to the coaches and the kids that, you know, this morning they were all business, and our coaching staff just put together a great game plan, and wow, you know, I don't even know what to say. I'm just amazed.
What's it been like for you presiding over your first football season as athletic director?
Well, I mean, it's just like I just said, it's been a roller coaster. It's been great fun because the staff is so good, and the kids they're almost workmanlike in the way they approach the game. And you know, I have to say I've enjoyed this part a lot.
Appreciate it, Pat. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Jake.
All right, back upstairs to you, Jerry.
Well, he gave a nice speech at dinner last night, I'll tell you. It was about 30 to 45 seconds at the most, always short and to the point with what he said. And We're all here for a victory, so let's go enjoy it tomorrow, we said. And, I mean, it was just very simple and to the point. And I sat there and I kind of thought, well, I hope so. I hope you're exactly right. And this team, obviously very businesslike down here in El Paso, not a whole lot of distractions, which is always a good thing for all the teams that are down here. And took it seriously. These seniors wanted to go out on they learned so much from the end of last season, which was way different than the end of this season. And they learned a lot from the bowl performance as well.
Here's 4th down and 4 from the Duck 25-yard line for Gregory at quarterback now. Got to have the first down to keep the drive alive. Here's the quick throw, and he's got it. First down. Way too open on 4th and short.
Nobody covered that receiver down. And Ryan DePaulo's looking over the sideline like saying, what are we doing?
Yep, missed.
Nobody covered him. I mean, the only thing Gregory could do was throw a bad pass for an incompletion. Otherwise, that was one of those ones where you and maybe me could have thrown that completion for a first down.
Yeah, what I wonder on that, was that the play called, or did he see that go to it?
We saw it went to it. Uncovered receiver, you always go to it.
Here's the handoff and stuff for a loss back at the 18-yard line.
Especially in a 4th and 4 situation. That's just like, give it to you, is what that was. Why don't you just go ahead and take the first down and get you in this play?
Mike Ford loses a couple of yards back to the 18, and it'll be 2nd down and 12, down to 7:36 remaining. 49-14, Oregon dominating performance here in the second half. And Gregory in relief at quarterback. For the injured Grothy will take the snap and go back to throw. The quick throw again. Same throw a moment ago. And open almost the same way was Marcus Edwards. Just a quick slant in.
Oregon has not been able to get to him, though, for the most part. They harassed Grothy an awful lot. And Gregory they've somewhat harassed too, but to get right to him and make that play, they've not been able to penetrate that South Florida offensive line. So brings up 3rd down for South Florida, just inside the Oregon 12-yard line.
That they have not been able to get to the quarterbacks underscores how good Oregon's secondary has been this year, and particularly in this game. Back to throw. Gregory steps up, could run, and will roll and still want to throw. Looks into the end zone, has a man wide open and throws, and touchdown. Well, that's patience by the junior. A.J. Love, the touchdown.
Nice play, and Ryan DePaulo knows he let his guy go and just completely forgot about him because of the scramble by Gregory. Just went to sleep and got mesmerized by the quarterback, and as soon as that catch was made, he just hit himself in the head, and it's like, why did I do that? So easy to do, though, when you got a running quarterback and you got to make a decision. Do I come up, make the tackle, or do I stay on my receiver? And as a defensive back, you stay on the receiver until the quarterback crosses the line of scrimmage, and then you can come up and make the hit.
Yep. Offensive tackle forgot to come in for the extra point try. Hustles it late, and they'll kick. Good snap, and the kick is up, and it is good. And with 6:34 remaining in this football game, 49-21, Oregon with a lead. Onside kick most likely coming up after this from Napa Auto Parts.
State Farm.
6:34 left, and I think an onside try coming up. Oregon not really lining up for it. Nope, they're going to kick it away deep. Just boot it deep, and it'll be taken at the 4, 10, 15, 20. Little seam. Outside to the 35, to the 40, to the 45-yard line. And Walter Thurman with a big return gives Oregon great field position at their own 40-yard line. I almost wanted to say Remine Alston because it looked like that 6 was folded. I almost looked like a 5. But it was Walter Thurman again.
It's pretty smooth, too. Smooth runner. He and Jarris Bird obviously now getting really involved with this team from a kick return and a punt return standpoint. Jarris Bird, by the way, he's done a great job since he's been in there as the punt returner. I think he's pretty much it now. I mean, he's got
he really does
the ability to break plays and make a lot of them.
In at quarterback now, Cody Kemp for Oregon. And he's going to hand it off. Remine's going to go left side and get tripped back behind the line of scrimmage. He might fall forward back to the line of scrimmage. But it's going to be basically no gain or a short loss, and it'll bring up second down and 11. Duck football brought to you by Bi-Mart, the perfect fit for your lifestyle and your pocketbook. Great Northwest living starts with savings at your neighborhood Bi-Mart, just right for the Northwest. And I think, well, I know that we're going to be back at the Cooler this week, but on Wednesday night. More on that coming up. Here's Cody Kemp at quarterback. Oregon probably not going to throw the ball much at all. Give it to Remine, and he's going to go right and get it back to basically the line of scrimmage, and they get snowed under back inside of the 40. They'll give him forward motion back to the 44-yard line. We're back at the Cooler this Wednesday night. I'll be out of town with the Duck basketball team, men's team, but Bev Smith and Terry Johns will be there along with Joe Giansante at the Cooler in Eugene. Great drink specials, tremendous food. Love the food at the Cooler. And tickets to give away. We're going to have tickets to give away, probably. Yeah. And we'll have some of the players from Oregon women's basketball come in and join us. Have a chance to meet a couple of them on this Wednesday night. Tip-off Wednesday at the Cooler this week. Here's Cody Kemp, third down and 10 from the 44 of Oregon. With a snap, just going to hand it off again and tripped immediately at the line of scrimmage, falling forward for no gain. It'll be third down, make that fourth down. As the Ducks just being patient and letting that clock run and not going to add insult to injury. Andy O'Brien gets no gain. It'll be fourth down. Josh Cyree into punt. And back deep, and he is not. Marcus Edwards has had only one real chance to return a punt today. Cyree capable of putting this ball in the end zone from where he is at the Oregon 32. Line of scrimmage, the 44. See if he uncorks one. Last one he did, and he didn't need to. Low snap, here comes a big rush, booms it. Wobbly, not very high. Deep, though, back to the 5-yard line, back to the 4-yard line.